Testing.
I'm critiquing. That's working.
Yep, working fine.
Yep.
Well, they were here in the summer last year, and it's a low traffic area.
And I only had 2 months.
You only had what?
I had 2 months.
I'm sorry, I missed
There
it.
was about 20 of the business cards taken, but no calls.
You're going first.
How many? Is it just the two of it?
You're on.
Mic set. Okay. Greetings. We're actually starting 30 seconds early because we had a lot of entries tonight too, and I want to get to everyone. So let's start off with our announcements. Okay. Coming up meetings. Next Friday is bee competition. Projection, that's our beginners competition. And then we have October 13th, people competition, which will be a print competition. Those are few and far between now. So the deadline for that, remember, is the night of. So you could bring your framed pictures in or your matted pictures in up until the evening of the competition. Now, because in a print competition, to remind everyone, the judges are judging the night of the competition. They're in the back judging for about 30 minutes, too. So we always have at that time a live lecture, too. And we're honored to have Nancy, who's with us tonight also as well. Nancy Ballack will be talking on Portrait Professional software. This will be the pre-print lecture. It'll be live in here. So Nancy will be talking while they're judging the pictures. That's also October 13th. October 20th will be a very interesting, this is not going to be broadcast because it's all hands-on. We've gotten Jeff Limbach, who is a Canon ambassador, and one of the things he specializes in is light painting. But light painting, not so much the outside where you go and you swirl tinfoil and whatnot and things like that, but mostly indoor. He's going to have 3 sets set up in the clubhouse here and show us with all different kinds of lights how to give creative lighting on these sets, little handheld flashlights and whatnot, and go over that. So bring your cameras and a empty memory card that night, and this is going to be all hands-on, and it should be really interesting, and that is October 20th. And our own Ken Hubble is here with us tonight too, is going to be talking to us on October 27th, photographing the April 2024 solar eclipse. Live lecture, also going to be broadcast, and Ken will be talking on October 27th. We have a new gallery on our gallery page on the website. Eric Botsky and his team there have put up, you go into the gallery section, CBS Events Galleries. We have on there all of our parties, our groups, our toilet paper wrapping that we did the other day at the CPS party. Again, so anything to do with CPS extracurricular activities are up in the galleries, and it was fun just seeing that. So go to the gallery page, and you'll see CPS Event Galleries as a new one. Next SIG meeting coming up next week, October 5th, Lenses and Filters, all things lenses and filters by Dave Bush. Business cards, remember, if you have to remember our website or the email. Those emails come right to me. I have hundreds of business cards sitting all around in the back. Just pick one up, carry them with you. And like always, all of our meetings, our public meetings, are live on our YouTube channel, as well as will be kept in perpetuity on our YouTube channel. The private lectures that we give, our Zoom ones, those are on our website, on the members-only content. So here you just go to our homepage, click on the YouTube icon in the upper right. When you get on the YouTube site, click Live, and that's when you'll see all of our broadcasts. Okay, with that out of the way, let's get to, before we start tonight's thing, I was not going to do this, but as I looked over some of the images, I decided, yes, I want to just do one quick thing before we start. Now tonight, our critiques, these are going to be, now not every image will need a critique. There's some really nice ones. We're not going to look always just for things just to find it. But I notice on a lot of them too, there's a philosophical difference I've had in the critique areas and when I teach fundamentals, is people tell me 2 things. Sometimes they say, I just don't believe in taking things out or putting things in or whatnot, that kind of stuff, or cropping. I believe in getting it right the first time. If you talk to professionals, cropping, every professional uses it and believes in it. This has absolutely nothing to do with reality or whatnot. The idea that you can get everything framed just perfectly in the image just doesn't hold. So I think cropping is going to be key. And the other thing is removing things in the image. This, again, is philosophical, but this is not photojournalism. None of us represent our images as reality. these are nice images and whatnot, but basically that's it. We talk about your vision. I think of this as all raw material. This is a picture I took just recently. Here we have these 3 Orthodox men. I was up on a hill. 3 Orthodox men, a huge Jewish cemetery. They are reading the plaques over here. And I thought, boy, they're all just, this would be a nice kind of picture there as well. But I am not in a studio. In a studio, I would move distracting objects. On the street, you take what you can get, and you just can't wait for something to go. It'd be nice to wait till this car then just moved on. But by then, they could be turned around and facing me. So you take what you can. And so my vision, I had a certain vision when I looked at this. I remember very well, this would be a great picture, but if. So there is nothing wrong. The first thing, I wanted to get these 3 men. That girl. In Photoshop nowadays, it is literally a circle. You make a circle around them, and, whoop, the pointer doesn't work on that. You make a circle around them, and they're gone. And you notice it redrew the cracks in the street. Circle. The car, gone. And the street is withdrawn. That's a circle around it. This takes 2 seconds to do. That little fence over here, you have no control over that. They tell you to move around. Sure, work the picture, move to the right, but then you have a different perspective and you don't get that. There's also a red pop can right there at the feet. Take them out. And then crop a little. That is what I saw when I thought. I said, this would be a great picture. The 3 of them just looking. But since you're not in the studio, and so you would just be left with the other picture, fine. But it helps with your vision. So my point here was to show you how easy it was to do. These are just really easy, and also it has nothing to do with your vision because that was my vision. The other things were things I couldn't do anything about. So with that, when we talk about certain times, some of these pictures where, gee, we could take this thing out, knowing that we're not talking about anything major or big, these are real easy to do. So I just wanted to get that out of that philosophical thing out of the way. And now we'll actually start. Our 2 people commenting tonight are going to be Chris Bosworth and Nancy Ballard from the club. And they will alternate commenting on these images, and I'll be the peanut gallery, just piping up on occasion. We'll do the maneuvers, cropping and things right up here on the screen. And also, if people in the audience or whatnot have anything, input, you don't agree, whatnot, you think something different, let us know. This is, again, everyone involved, too. So we'll go down, and everyone submitted 3. We had a lot of submissions, so what I'm going to do is do the 2 of everybody's to get all the way through, and then go back and do 1s, too. So that way, we don't leave anyone out if we get to the end. And they are sorted by, thanks to Microsoft and Adobe, by first name as well. So that's how we got the order. So first one up will be Amy Rodowitz. And we will bring up the image.
Oh my gosh.
Is Amy here tonight? Yeah. Oh, okay. Amy, anything you want to, anything, in fact, here we'll give you,
First of all, don't look at the first
while we're
screen.
talking, we'll give you the mic too there.
Yeah, Chris, this is my relative.
Oh,
First
and
of all,
let me
don't
add
look at
one
the first
thing, too.
screen because
Let-
wow,
let-
that's dark.
Wait, Amy. Let me add one thing too. Is just because we're dealing with little critical things of light and dark and whatnot, the projector that you're looking at in front is not the greatest for photographs. That's why the judges are looking at the side. Things might seem too black or whatnot there are actually perfect on the side one. So sometimes if you glance over to the side, you'll see. Amy, I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Anyways, this was at Medieval Fair. There's a guy named Bubba, actually, and he just has this crazy costume that he is fully committed to when it is 80 degrees and he is wearing fur. I just asked him if I could get this shot and just took a couple quick shots of him, but he just had this look, and then out of nowhere, this little girl comes up from behind the tree and just peeks out behind him like she was terrified, and then literally was there for 2 seconds and then pieced out. I mean, she just ran. So, I don't like horror movies, but it looked like a cover of a horror movie to me.
I thought this was from the CPS picnic.
Oh, I think this is just, you could feel the reaction from everybody in the room, so you know it's a very powerful photo. You got the response that I hope you wanted, and I just think it's amazing. I don't know that I would change anything about it. It's very, very good. Your blacks and your whites, your color, your black and white rendering is wonderful. You've got your nice blacks, and you've got some good light areas, and a lot of your variations of gray in between. That little girl in there is just precious. Wouldn't it have been funny if that was her dad, and she went up to him and said, "Daddy," and she's a sweet little thing, and she's got his leg or something? That'd be cute, too. But oh, that's just
Yeah, that didn't happen.
No, I know. But what you got is great. Looks like Little Red Riding Hood or something, you know. So that's just awesome. You did a beautiful job. That's great.
Excellent. Okay, let's go to, whoa.
So I really like the impact of this, the way, the treatment of the background. Normally I'm not crazy about doing a real strong vignette, but because it's mirroring, this thing is mirrored?
Yes,
Is it
it's
on
mirrored.
glass?
Liaga
It's
is,
on glass.
it's a crested gecko.
Yeah.
He is actually on a mirror, so that is a
Yes.
true reflection.
Okay,
The only thing I did was I desaturated the image on the right, the reflection.
Mhm.
But other than that, that was straight. That was, yeah, and obviously the vignette, but that was the
yeah, the
image.
exposure looks really good. Like I said, because the vignette mirrors the shape of the gecko on both sides, I think that really makes it work. We're probably going to have this comment happening a lot now that we're getting into AI. I don't really have a suggestion of what I would do differently unless you wanted to remove the framing of the mirror. That would be a whole different picture, but you know, that kind of thing is an option to us now. But exposure's good. I like that you did the vignetting the way you did.
I'd like to see it without the desaturation.
I have that on my phone if you want to see it.
I think what's interesting about it, it's vertical as opposed to horizontal, which is a little bit more dramatic.
Yeah, the whole image is actually vertical. I did it originally where I hadn't desaturated the image, but it was just kind of, again, the whole concept where somebody's bright, colorful, and the way you see yourself is different the way other people see you. So I kind of played with that theme and tweaked it after I'd used it for 52 frames, but it was, both were color. I hadn't messed with that. But I just kind of played with it for a different theme. I don't know.
Your detail is
Oops.
amazing on that. The eyes are beautiful. The skin's gorgeous. Really nice.
This this brings up one thing that we don't have in competition, and is always is when we get you to comment on it, we get to see really what you were going for, because until you explain why you did the desaturation, it's like how we see ourselves. Then it really, wow, that is really cool. But a judge wouldn't, and make some other comment, just like that on the girl. That little girl on the side, I was going to suggest you take that out. It was distracting. But when you pointed out that, wow, look at her, she's looking at him like, then it made more sense. So having you say what you were going for really adds to it.
On that first picture, I didn't even see the girl until you pointed it out.
Yeah,
So
me too.
One suggestion might be to somehow highlight that area so she stands out.
I had her brighter initially, and I didn't, it ended up looking almost like I had placed her.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the image was, I was taking the picture of Bubba, and then she literally, I mean, I saw it when it happened, and I was going, oh, please tell me I didn't have the wrong settings, and I was able to catch it. And so I kind of like the fact that you see the image, and then when you see it, then you see the rest of the story, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I played back and forth. I've done probably 20 different variations on the highlight on her. So
I guess my point is I would not have even noticed her until you said that. Now, if I had the picture in front of me printed, I might have seen it, but she kind of blends into the background, and you're focused on him. If there was some way to maybe just bring her out.
Yeah, I might have to still work on that one.
But it was fun to explore this picture. I mean, you could sit here and stare at it for quite a long time and just kind of let your eyes roam around and enjoy everything that's
Yep.
there.
Very good. Okay. Andrew. Andrew here? Nope, okay.
Right here.
Oh, yeah, there's Andrew over
This
there.
is just a picture I took.
Oh, take the mic so the people at home. This is for the people at home.
This is a picture I took a while ago in South Dakota, and to your point about cropping, the reason is cropped kind of tight is because there's some lighting and some stuff in the background. So that's just a picture from South Dakota.
Okay, who's going to take this?
I will.
Okay.
I thought you did an excellent job, that it's so sharp and in focus. And you also gave the wolf enough room that he's looking into. You didn't crop it too tight, you know, where he's got his nose on the edge of the photo. That I think it's well done. Like you said, you had to crop it like this because there was the grass was a lot lighter. and stuff
If you
too.
look at the top above his head,
Yeah.
it's a little bit hazy
Yeah.
up there.
Yeah.
And so I tried to dehaze that, but didn't get it all out, and that's why
Yeah.
I cropped it down.
No, that's
Nancy, this is your chance. He's
Oh, to
cropped a
add
little.
more?
Yes,
Oh,
he's cropped a little
man.
too because
Nancy
there was a
just discovered
distracting
AI
object on
and
top, and he had to crop because to get that object
Right.
out.
Yep. In AI, Photoshop is now going into AI. They have this great program, and I've been playing around with it, just giggling all the time I'm playing with it, having fun. And I learned how to extend a photograph up, so you could extend it up. You could actually add, it will automatically add the right amount of grass. It adds the right lighting. It's incredible. And it's just I had one with a horse on it, and it was running, and it was ramming up to the edge of my photo. And so I extended the photo out, and it matched all the scenery in the background completely. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So,
An ideal thing. Photoshop will give you tell it, give me an inch more on top and an inch more on the right, and it'll be perfect because it knows that the animal is here, and it's all this grass, and it'll just extend the grass up an inch the way it's supposed to look and over there, and now your crop, it's
So you
perfect.
do that as opposed to cloning more grass in there?
Now, in the past, you'd have to clone.
Right.
Now, you just tell it, give me an inch on the top and an inch on the right. And that's it. There is nothing, because it's algorithms, or the AI looks to see where the animal is, what the kind of grass is here, and just draws it all in. And you can't even tell it's been done.
No.
So that magically now gives you the room you need.
Because sometimes in cloning, you can see where you've cloned,
Right.
and you have to go back and you have to do it over again. This you do it, and it gives you 3 choices. So you put the grass up at the top, and then off to the side, it gives you 3 choices, and you click on each one of those choices, and you look to see which one you like the best. And if you don't like them, you click on generate again, and it gives you 3 more choices. So you could keep. It is. I know people are complaining about AI, but I'm telling you, it is so much fun to work with. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
I'd like to add, today I was using a,
Yeah, wait, let me give you let me have the mic.
I was using it today to remove something. And I think I went up to about 12 different tries. I didn't like any of them.
So that happens
That
sometimes.
happens. So
Yeah.
it's not magic.
Totally
But
perfect.
it's very good.
You got 95% of the time, maybe, or 90%.
I'll
It's
get that
good.
down. Yeah, you could see, you're right, whoa. It's not, but it's much better than what was there before. Okay.
So this was from Back to the Wild. The only thing that bothered me a little bit to the left, we have a lot of that white coming through. I didn't know how to get that out.
Yeah, I'd agree. Anytime we have bright spots, it tends to draw our attention, even though the owl's face is white. It's still, I mean, at least it's way out of focus in the background. So that's one of the things I'd be going, okay, I got to figure out how to remove this. I might do something, I'm not sure about the cropping. At first I thought, well, maybe this should have been a vertical, but because of the angle of his body, I don't know if you'd have enough room to make it a vertical. But that would be an option. The exposure is great. The owl itself is perfectly sharp, really high resolution image.
Oh, here I am. I forgot about what we're doing.
I don't know if I have enough room to go vertical or, yeah, I like that. So his eyes are over in the right
Do you want it
third.
more from this side?
I think I would leave it that way because his eyes are right in the right, in the right
Right
third.
in the
Yeah,
rule
in
of thirds
the rule of
thing.
thirds. Yeah, I like that better.
There's before. Yeah, it does give it a little, oh yeah.
It's just more dynamic when you're not centered.
What about selecting background and bringing down the highlights?
Selecting the background and, well, these aren't really highlight. It probably wouldn't do much for these one here because these are a mid-tone gray. This would be hard to get rid of in the, you could select this area out and tell it replace it with something similar to this area over here. And Photoshop will do that, and you might get a good match. But this goes from like a greenish here down. This is a harder background, and you might be able to just replace the whole background with something. But it would be difficult because you could now with Lightroom and whatnot, being able to select subjects, it's looking for the subject there, and then you just invert it, and then you're able to maybe bring it down so it's not as noticeable. So there's a lot of kind of tricks you could use.
I mean, there's lots to be said when you're taking a picture, what the background looks like. I mean, the one thing I loved
Yeah.
about the picture is the texture on his feathers. But, you know, a background can either make or break a picture.
Couldn't you also clone if you selected that area that's right next to that big white spot? Like you've got it's a wide open area right next to it, like that whole big long area. No, go over. You could probably clone it out, but if you wanted to leave that in just to kind of balance out everything, you could take a sample from that one gray area off to the right, Richard. No,
The gray?
right, the white, right there. Right in there, if you took an area and you just kind of made the brush about the size of that, and then just kind of did a quick zip up through it, it would be the same colors as what the that is. I kind of like that white in the background. It's not so. It kind of gives you a feeling that there's trees or whatever behind it. And
Yeah, there are a number of ways that you could possibly do this. It is a more difficult one. You'd have to work for a while. But simple things, little bringing down we kept the texture the same, but just darkened it a little, makes it not as noticeable. I think that and the crops. So we go between here and there. So again, on all these, the capture is perfect. But these are all little things afterwards to kind of just, things we couldn't control at the time. Very nice picture, though.
it's beautiful.
Okay. Let's see. Barbara, you're up. Barbara's right over here.
Not much to say. I just had a nice photo of a flower, but it seemed like it had a little too much going on around it. So I tried vignetting a little to bring out the flower more.
Looking at the monitors, your lighting on that flower is really nice. Very, very pretty. I might try a square crop around it. If you do that, you're going to get in a little closer and you're going to get rid of all that green stuff that's going on in the background. Richard will give that a try and we'll see how that looks. I don't know about any, I think I'd maybe go a little bit more. Going a little bit more.
Actually,
Oh,
okay. Like that?
yeah. Or, what?
Like that?
You do that, if you just stay at that brown spot in the bottom, that's a beautiful picture.
Can you do that in AI over there, Richard?
Gee, you're making, actually, no, because we're in Lightroom.
Oh, okay.
And
And you
that's,
can, okay,
I'd have to carry this over into,
Okay.
yeah.
Lower
But-
the luminance on the greens, Richard.
yeah.
Down the luminance on the greens?
Yeah.
Okay.
You still have to deal with the brown patch.
Can you clone that out or darken it, somebody said?
Well, cloning is, I'll do a rough
Okay.
cloning with the heel. Just to give us an idea.
Ooh,
Right.
oh. Okay,
No, I mean, that's,
Yeah.
it's just gonna
Oh, I
take it
see.
from,
yeah.
yeah, just to give you an idea. You're right, you would take this from Lightroom into Photoshop, and you could use the AI and remove that nicely. It's logistically harder for us to do that here, but this gives you an idea. And there is before and right, so that distracts less. Okay. Very good.
Can
Let's,
I ask you to do the wood instead?
to do which?
The other one, the third one.
Third one? Yep.
I saw a picture there somewhere, but.
Oh, wait, let's give you a mic. Oh,
I
you got
saw
a
a
mic.
picture there somewhere, but I wasn't quite sure what to do with it. That's a very unique looking piece of wood.
How far does the wood extend to the right and the bottom? How much are we missing?
Not much.
Because I would have, if there's not much more, I'd like to see the whole wood. And I definitely think this is screaming to be a black and white.
Yeah, yeah.
The problem you might have, though, is you got some specular light there, might be hard to deal with.
Yeah, let's try that first, just to see if we can get that white down. And since it's wood, let's give it a little texture more. So we've got that specular highlight down. And let's see to Chris's thing how it would look at black and white.
You have to
Maybe.
play with the contrast. Black and white
Contrast.
just wants to be contrasty.
Yeah.
This might be one where you select a portion of the wood and take a crop of the wood. So if we can't see the whole thing, let's look at part of it that's got the most interest. I'd like to see where it looks like a smile on the bottom, include that part. Do a crop that includes that. Yeah, and that helps get rid of that grass up there too, which doesn't fit the motif of the.
Do you want,
of the
what do
wood.
you want me to do
Yeah,
on this
bring
side?
that in the right, that's good. All the way so that we don't get the sand, yeah, right there. You could maybe extend to make it like a 3x4 crop. Move the right to the right a little bit. Yeah, right there. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah. So that's like, I like that. I would definitely boost the contrast and, conversion to black and white is a whole art in itself. And seldom do you get a good conversion just by clicking the black and white button. You usually have to play with the color channels or play with the contrast or something, but I like the concept of it. It's a good eye.
A good program that I really like doing to get black and whites is Nick Silver Effects. Do they still call it Nick?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
It's owned
Mine's
by
real old.
DxO software now, but you could just buy the NIC bundle, the NIC 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Which has,
Nick
Silver
Silver
Effects.
Effects is in
Yeah.
there, and it
Yes.
gives you. There's a lot of presets in there, lots of presets, and some are sepia tones, some are and then you can change the color of your black and white or your not color. What I want to say, Anyway, you can have it to more of a blue, black and white, or yellow, black and white. You can make different, thank you, tonal range. And it's amazing. I love it. I use it all the time when I do my black and whites, and it gives you a nice black, and
There you go.
and good variations.
That last thing you did is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna title this, I Would Be Happy.
Oh, good. Okay.
Oh.
All right.
So is that Silver Effects program, is that a standalone or a plugin?
I use it as a plugin on my Photoshop, but I don't know that.
I think it's the Nick things are a plug-in. I just upped mine and bought it last week, and it did not go in as I don't think it went in as a standalone. It was a plug-in to Lightroom and Photoshop.
Mine's real old, like probably 15 years old or
Yeah.
something. It's really old.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, it is. That good suggestion,
All right.
Chris.
Belinda, she's over there.
All right. I don't know how many times I've photographed the heron, but I really like that I got him very well in focus, but it just was such a mucky, messy background. So I wasn't sure quite how to tone that down.
You know, on the screen, it has so much more contrast than it does like on the monitors. I would crop him down from the top and try to get out as much as that. Your detail on the heron is just amazing.
What if you made that background black and white?
Well, let's see if we could first select that. Let's see what job it does on the heron. Okay, we'll do a down and dirty thing here. So we want our background. So we'll bring down the exposure on the,
That looks
oh.
better like that.
What did you do there, Richard?
What I did is I
Desaturate.
selected the background, just particularly, and just darkened that down a tiny bit. So you have all the details, which are really nice, but now that the heron really stands out. I mean, here, if we go, oops, let's do from our crops. Okay, we go from there to there. And it kind of brings him out of that
Yeah.
a little. And I'm just spitballing this, I'm just guessing. But you could do a lot of things on the background. But you notice the masking tools now in Lightroom and Photoshop are, they're just a click. And so masking used to be a big tedious thing, and you can really get excellent ones like this, even down to fur.
Your detail's
Yeah.
just wonderful. It's spectacular, even on all the little feathers around its neck and its beautiful eyes and the wings. There's so much to see in this. Really nice.
Beautiful.
It sure is.
Did you put anything on the bottom?
No. Okay.
Okay.
All right, the next one. I just love the expression on this little guy. It's a sea otter in an exhibit at the Vancouver Aquarium. But the problem was the water around the edges was so white from the, the filtration system. It was really hard to colorize, and I guess the feedback I'm looking for is, did I do a good enough job subduing that whitish, grayish color around the edges?
Yeah, I don't see anything out on the edges that's objectionable. It's a comical picture. It's great. I mean, how can you not like that? I don't know that I have any suggestions, really. His face is off center. I like that. I don't see anything suspicious about the image, like where you had done any digital editing. His face is a little bright. Yeah, I was going to say his face is a little
Exposure of
bright
the face
compared to the
down.
rest of him. But
Okay, let's,
that's something you've really got to be good at, something like that, though, because it can go south on you pretty quick.
okay.
I don't know if it's going to recognize just his face.
In fact, let me try.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah,
happens
because all
if
I'm
you
going to
take the
use, I'm just
highlights
going to use a
down?
brush on it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you're shooting in broad daylight, probably almost noon it looks like, so you're always fighting that.
Yeah, actually,
That's much
that's,
better.
Yeah, it does, looks better.
yeah, and you could go back, we're just doing like a down and dirty thing. You could say if it's a little too dark, you could just back off a tiny bit. You could go, make it to just like you want. So there, that's a little more natural.
I love the flow of water going around the otter. It's so, it just, you can almost hear it splashing. It's just really nice.
I just want to make a comment that I tried the Photoshop AI, again, trying to make it a little more exciting. I thought, well, what if I put him in a bathtub? The AI totally didn't work for that.
No, because this is, when you look at the edges, there's no real edge to him. He'd be a hard one to select out for the AI because it's just very, very indistinct and whatnot, so.
Could you add a mild vignette around the whole thing?
A mild vignette around it?
Not really extreme.
Let's see.
Down at effects is the easy way to do it.
Object. Okay, let's. Yep, let me get rid of that. Yep, so that is before and there are many ways to do the, oops.
What you just did is interesting because she loved the expression on the outer space, and what we just did there, just realized how that's in the face a bit more,
Yeah, so we went from there to with the vignette,
like that.
That's too
Is this
dark.
really?
too dark, so yeah, we could just, on that vignette, just come down to, just make it really mild. So that would be that. It would go from, okay, it would go from there to there. And you could work on it little ways. What we're starting off with, though, yep, so just minor changes. It's a good picture already, though, so that's what's hard. Okay.
That was 841 down in California, and if you had to search for it by it.
Okay, this is Bob Kowaleski. I don't think Bob's here tonight. Okay, who takes this one?
It's mine, okay. Beautifully done, and I really like it in black and white because your eye really goes back to the mountains and then it repeats up again into the clouds. And he's got so many nice variations in the tonal range of the black and white. He's got a beautiful foreground, which you need, and then the middle ground, and then the background, and it's all interesting. Oh, I really like this one.
I'd give him another 27.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is really, I can't think of anything to, except, and I'm just, again,
Maybe the grass is down at the bottom, is that what?
no, I was
what's
just gonna
down at the
crop a
bottom?
lot. There's interest in this mountain and this, but I'm wondering if it trails a little too, I'm just out of curiosity. Again, this is an ideal picture, but I'm just seeing, it brings this mountain and these two kind of more centrally. Here is, oh, that's it's to taste. This is more expansive. As I go back and forth, I kind of like the expansive one. But again, you fool around and you see which one you like. But yeah, no, this is very, very nice,
That's beautiful.
as is. Okay.
Wow.
That's just got a really nice feel to it. That is, you got to get up early probably to get a shot like that. That's why I don't see these. I'm really torn. We could play a little bit with the cropping. I mean, there's a lot of interest in the sky. If anything, like bring the sky down, but I don't know. It's already so good. I'm just trying to find something to do with it.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean, the
not
way
cr-
this cloud kind of goes, if we
Yeah.
crop down, then this white is going to sit up by the top.
I'm a little distracted by the windmill over on the left.
Yeah, I liked it there.
It's just
No,
a little too
here's a
close to
matter
the
of-
edge for me.
Well, what's interesting, let me just give you choices here, is the windmill here. You're right, we could just simply crop it out. If I crop it out, I like the way the trees come over. The nicest thing would be to, if we could, rather than do that by cropping, because I like the edge of the trees over here, is just to take that out. And we're not in Photoshop now, but let me see if just with the, like that.
That puts more emphasis on that barn, I think.
Yeah, without, right, and you still have, this is nice the way the trees just come over, right?
A little more rosy saturation in that lower deck of clouds over the tree.
A little more saturation, okay.
Color,
A little more saturation in color, let's see.
just that area.
Oops, let me just do all of them, come up with our vibrance. There is a, it brought it up a little. You don't want to overdo it.
Can you crop it a little bit more on the left and still get the edge of that tree?
Yeah, crop them a little more on the left, you mean up to like there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that actually is,
And the picture is really about the barn, I think, more than the barn
That's
in
nice
this
picture.
setting.
yeah.
The stuff on the left is distracting away from the barn.
So Mike, would you crop it in more?
I would crop it almost to that first dark tree, right, no, not too, right around there, so
Around there.
that's the way I would do it. Because now your eye focuses on the barn.
Did you try it in black and white?
Sure.
The part might pop out a little more.
If I darken the foreground a little, let's see, the barn, I forget what color the barn was. If I could just, no,
Try the texture and contrast, see if that makes sense.
okay, a little texture and contrast. Yeah, texture really brings out the barn there, a little contrast. It does, that barn really comes out. Where were we? Convert to, okay, it was there, was our first black and white conversion, right? That barn comes out nicely. And I don't think you could do anything, let me, I don't think dehaze would.
I think the haze kind of makes it.
Right, exactly, that's, the haze kind of makes it. Yeah, and you could probably work individually, you could get in, work on the barn itself and make it a little more contrasty here and bring it out more. So you know, you could work on that a lot more. But I think the idea, yeah, black and white, you know, we started off here, which is nice. Yeah.
See why Bob's getting 27s.
Yeah, these are nice, but again, this is just giving us other choices, but yeah, beautiful. Bob does great work. Okay. Bonnie? Yes, you are, yes, you want to, which one you want? Do you want to do the castle one first?
Sure, the castle one first.
Castle one first? Okay, because we're going to start off with two here.
Thank you. We were in Edinburgh, and I was watching the kids in the room while our son and his wife went to get another Guinness. So I happened to look out the window, and the castle was all lit up. Our hotel was right in front of it. So I didn't have a tripod with me, so I put the camera on a book on the back of a chair and did what I could do. So I just didn't know what else I could do. I know it's blurry, and I didn't know how much I could fix it up, to make it less blurry. But I had a lot of pictures because I wanted to get the flag full when it was blowing instead of down. So it was hard to get the flag up like that. So I didn't know what else I could do to make that a little bit better.
I know.
Okay?
Okay. Oh, Nancy knows.
Go
Okay,
ahead,
Nancy.
Nancy.
Oh, sorry,
I know what Nancy, I know it. Go ahead,
Does
Nancy.
it start with a T, Richard?
You bet.
Topaz AI is amazing. You could put that in, do you have Topaz?
I do not. no.
Okay, if you had it, you would just be blown away by what it could do. And then if you've got like a little bit of noise, it takes care of the noise, it'll take care of sharpen. It will blow your mind as to what it can sharpen up.
Okay.
And then you can make adjustments on it. If it's a little too sharp for your taste, you can take the slider down a little bit. But it is very well worth it to buy it. It can save so many photos, it does for me. If my photos are a little bit not quite in focus or whatever, or if there's too much noise, it does a really nice job on correcting all that.
There should be a program in our archives.
There should be what? A program?
Shouldn't there be a program in our archives?
In our archives?
Did my talk got recorded, right?
What?
My talk on Topaz got recorded, correct?
Yes. Yes, so there's a talk, right, your talk, right, your lecture on Topaz, the Topaz Suite is on our, right, is on YouTube. Right, so you can just go to our YouTube ones and see that. But the remarkable, and you can see when at normal viewing, all I did is in our detail section bumped up and you could see it's,
What if you made that, increase the exposure on the tassel, make that brighter?
Lightroom has a sharpen feature on it now, too.
yeah, well, Lightroom has a denoise, denoise AI. I just use the Lightroom Sharpen, which is crude. I just used it right here. So this is Lightroom's sharpening thing right there.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, the denoise AI puts a little sharpening in. But everyone's point here was that I did that, but these are still probably, it's lightened the edges around this and darkened the darks around the edges to make it look sharper. But Topaz AI actually uses, it redraws the blurry areas. And like Nancy said, it's different than Lightroom, Photoshop, any of the other programs. And for a picture like this, you put it in and it will be perfectly sharp
Really?
afterwards. And it's the only program out there now doing that, using AI to redraw edges rather than just change.
It's worth the money on that one.
Ah.
I mean, I use it quite a bit. On old photos, they've even gone back and redone them in AI, the Topaz, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah, I've run all my photos through it.
Really? Okay, well,
Yes, we would say, yeah, Gary said, I run all my photos through it as
Yeah,
well.
Go
It's,
to their website and just take a look. They've got different samples and stuff, and you can see it. It's really, really good. Very,
Okay.
very well worth it.
But a lot of time it's just hyperbole when you say, oh, you won't believe what it does to. This truly is a picture that is not able to be used because it's too blurry, like this one. It makes perfectly sharp. The other thing you could do is buy a photographic beanbag, because that's a book. Your
Oh.
camera on a book's going to move around.
It is.
You have the little beanbag, you rest the camera in that. It's like having it on a tripod. You could shoot a half second and
oh,
have
that's
it
true.
perfectly flat.
Right, okay.
For me, that would take up too much makeup room in my suitcase.
That's right. That's why Topaz.
So,
Could I, Mike, what? Lighten the
I
shadows?
need both.
yeah, I was
okay.
wondering about those shadows on the bottom. Does that
Yes,
take
I
away?
will work the shadow slider.
You buy the bag empty, and then
Yeah.
when
And you
get
see
there,
it?
You buy, what you call bird seed, and put.
That's a good idea.
or
It brings it,
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
Increase the exposure a little bit.
okay. Oh, increase the exposure?
Yeah,
Exposure,
good
Okay.
idea.
there you go.
Okay. So we're starting with down there and a bit blurry to sharper And let's throw a little texture in there. Yeah. Now I could see, like here, there's a ton of noise. I see red, green, and blue spotches down here. I would normally put this through just one click for the AI denoise that's in Lightroom, but it takes about 2 minutes if we don't have the time to do it. But that's fixable
Okay.
with that. Okay, very good.
Topaz denoises too.
Yep, Topaz is, you're right. Okay.
Okay, we were at the Cliffs of Moher in Ireland, and on a really cloudy, yucky day. But this was all I could get, and then the weather kept getting worse. So I didn't know what to do about the mist or how to make it. You can't make it too much brighter on the top because it's already bright, and I see some spots that were on my lens. But I didn't know if there was anything I could do to make that back cliff more visible, or,
I like the mist. I think the mist is the picture.
oh, okay.
What I would do, and that's probably sensor noise, by the way, that's not dust in your lens, it's
Oh.
probably a sensor spot.
Okay,
The one thing I would do, and it would do two things for us. I would make it more of a panorama and cut out that white stone at the bottom.
okay,
And then you've got kind of a leading line, you've got diagonal leading lines from that line that's just above our bottom there, leads you up to the other diagonal with the mountain landscape.
oh, okay. Would you cut down some of the sky?
I kind of like it. I
Oh,
think
you want the sky back like that?
Okay.
Yeah, the sky tells us why the mountains are hazy.
Okay,
I think the
Yeah.
haze to me is, I mean, it might look good if you dehazed it. If I was gonna dehaze it, then I would probably take some of the sky out, but the sky tells me that it was a hazy day, and therefore, you can see the mountain getting hazier in the distance as you go from the foreground to the background. So you know it's atmospheric haze. But I like it now, the way that lower left diagonal takes us to the right, and then the mountains take us diagonal back up to the left.
okay. Would there
Yeah.
be a way to make the white, what do you call, the waves whiter, or are they,
The waves,
or the splashing of?
if you did,
Just-
they'd be blown out. I
Okay.
wouldn't try to make those any brighter.
Would I leave the green weeds in there?
Well, the problem with that, yeah, well, AI would do it. I was gonna say, if you were back there, try to get a higher angle if you could,
Uh-huh.
so that the weeds aren't horrible, but they're intersecting with the mountain, which is
Right.
what the problem is.
Right, okay.
So, yeah, there's probably a place for AI to do its
But
wonders.
still, the cropping, you're right, Chris, the cropping though has,
Right, the
you know, that
cropping
rock
did it.
was
Yeah.
Yes,
this
it
just
was.
makes it,
Right. So what would you tell AI to get rid of those weeds? How do you do that? Or what would you type in?
I'm not the one to ask. I
The,
haven't used AI
the thing
that
is
much.
that it's not, and I second what some of the people said here, it's not magic.
Right,
I mean, this is a difficult one. You could do it. You would select, what you would do is you don't have to tell it anything. You would just draw the circle around these weeds and over like that.
okay,
And you just tell it, you just do nothing. You just tell it remove. And it automatically calculates what should be. It redraws what's in there.
okay.
You don't have to tell it anything.
Oh, okay.
So it does it itself. And you could see, and as Nancy said, what you do is when you do the circle around these weeds and you do it, it makes an idea what should be in there, and it gives you it draws it 3 different times. And
Okay.
if you don't like that, you have it do it again, you know, and it might be able to, it might not, you might be surprised.
If you,
So you just draw the circle and then just hit remove or
Yep,
so?
well, you
Okay.
draw the circle and, yeah, follow the direction, draw the
Yeah.
circle and you just click on.
Right,
Yeah.
You know, I'm one to try to clean a picture up to the tenth degree, but on those trees, I think I leave them alone.
On the weeds, Yeah.
Weeds
But the
or
one
trees,
thing I
I
love
don't know.
about this picture, the stylus rough, and you see the waves, so it kind of emphasizes that's a rough day out there. Between the waves and the sky, it gives you a mood out there.
You could be,
Yeah.
you could be a little more selective and use select object to get just the weeds and not the water behind it, and then apply your generative fill.
yeah, there's lots of ways to select things out more exactly. Again, once you play with, what I showed in the beginning, the generative fill, those are just circles and that's it. These are a little more difficult and certainly can be done, but it takes working with it a while.
One last thing, is there anything to do with the sky, with temperature, to change the color of the sky?
To change the temperature of the sky.
To make it more bluish? or
This
white?
would be, let me try, this is a hard sky to select. Let's see what happens if,
During the Canadian wildfires,
No, this is in Ireland.
okay, so what you could do is, yeah,
I don't-
select the sky
I'm
out.
not sure that I think it was just a misty, cloudy day.
And you could make, yeah, you could make the sky warmer or
See,
cooler.
If you make it a bit, not warmer, but the other way, I think it
Cooler,
cooler. Because then the sky doesn't fight with the color of the cliff.
let's see, so this is that.
I mean,
Yeah.
make it a little bit darker.
Yeah, so there's lots of options, and that's the important, once you know the, once you know the tools. There. And you could change the exposure. Once you know the tools, then you can kind of work with it and just play and see. Again, depends what your vision is. So there's where we started. Yeah, I think we got quite a bit there, so
Okay, thank you.
good, okay. Let me back so we get everyone in. Bryant Muhammad? Bryant here, okay. Here's the first one. Who's going to take this?
Yeah. Oh, is Brian here?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay. I like that you photographed the back of the statue. It's interesting, especially like the curves in the person's back on the front. And the hair is interesting on the statue on the left. I think that it's just a little bit too, well, I don't know. I think it's a little too blown out in the highlights.
Let's try bringing the highlights down. You don't want to make them the same, but that at least takes it down a little.
Yeah.
Let me come up with the,
is that a backwards baseball cap on that guy?
Yeah, I think it's a woman with her hair. I think. I don't know. Yeah. And it looks like a,
yeah, I think lightening the shadows a little
yeah.
brought out, you know, it separated them a little bit more. It's a hard subject.
What about, this is just throwing this out there, what about doing a high key on this one?
A high key, just making it,
I don't know, I just wanted to see what it looked like.
let's see, by what, increasing the contrast, or,
I
don't know how we would-
Highlight, like, then you'd have to, anybody else got any suggestions on how to get high key on this? Yeah, just high, just,
Contrast. And
let me bring down the,
lower exposure.
yeah.
okay.
the-
Actually
or
bringing
lower
up
the
our
blacks?
exposure, and then coming down on the highlights,
And what about lowering the blacks a little bit
so we don't,
to get more of a contrast?
that's it, and then our blacks. Not sure. It's a busy background.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if, and again, I don't know, if select subject will do them. Yes, it will. So that gives us the option then on the background of selectively, maybe let's darken the background a little. I think with taking the highlights out and whatnot, that's
Can you unsharpen it, the background?
unsharpen the background.
Is that possible?
Yes, let me find it down here. Clarity, some negative clarity.
Boy, that really makes them
the
stand out a
clarity
lot
all the
more.
way down. So what we've gotten so far, again, difficult subject,
yeah.
but there's where we started.
Big difference.
Here's where we're at. Yeah, so you're right. There's again, very difficult. A lot of brights there, darks, busy background. And you could, again, to taste, work on that background however you wanted. Let me see. I mean, you could go right, you could down, you could darken it, just wherever you feel to get it just right. But you have that flexibility. That's what we want to show you. And again, it's going to be just how you like it.
The cropping on that's nice too for the position and for the for where it's at.
Yeah.
For the backgrounds, he did a nice job on the cropping.
Yeah, it was just separating them out.
Yeah, they were kind of.
And yep. That was a what? Sepia tone? You could. We could call. Let's see. We've had a request for a sepia tone. And let me just do a down and dirty sepia tone here as well. Let's see. A little like that. So you could do a little there to there. So, endless possibilities. Let's see. Oh, gee.
Definitely a humorous image, and I'm trying to think of a good caption, but there's too many flooding my brain right now. Obviously, good capture. For a black and white, it's really good because there's good contrast there. You've got white whites and black blacks. If this is all that we have, the only crop I would do is maybe, we don't need the stuff on the right-hand side, or the older gentleman could bring that in a little bit, but I don't have any other suggestions other than that.
Where were you bringing it, Chris?
Right there, bring that in, so
Really?
we don't have this stuff behind the guy.
Bring it
Yeah,
to his shoulder?
Yeah, right there,
Right
yeah,
in there?
yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah, that's about all, I think all I would do. I'd like to have a little more headroom, but we don't have it here, so,
Yeah.
on the
And you notice
driver.
we've also brought the highlights down. Yeah, that's,
What a cool shot. That's really neat.
I'd like to know the circumstances
Yeah,
under
me
which this
too.
happened.
Yeah.
Good story shot.
yeah.
He's
this
probably
is-
taking him to court for a parking ticket or something.
Okay. Very good. Catherine Kennegot. Okay. Okay, who's going to take this?
Oh, I am.
Okay.
Catherine's not here then either? No? Okay.
Nope.
I like the reflection in this. If you, just for kicks, if you could go down to like where the reflection starts, or like right below the tree branches, and so that we only just maybe see.
You mean bring from the bottom up?
No, down, top down.
Top down. Tell me when.
Okay, keep going. Keep going until, I just want to see what it looks like without the tree in it, but with the reflection in it.
Oh, you mean down there?
Yeah, maybe. And just crop it. Let's see. No. Well, you know what I like is I like those. Go down even farther. So we have like one that's about the size of a postage stamp, I guess. I don't know. I really like the reflections in the water, like behind. It has like all the trees in the background coming down. It almost looks like a little, like the lines, the linear lines along the bottom. That looks
Yeah.
really cool. And it kind of gets lost in the tree up above. I really like the reflections in that. And the rest of it, your eye doesn't know where to go. It's just kind of all jumbled. And I suppose if you're going to keep it, I would lower the highlights in that and bring it down a little bit.
Yeah, I brought the highlights down. That's where we started.
Yeah, and I'd make the whole thing a little bit darker.
whole thing a little bit darker.
Lower the exposure.
Yeah, I gave it a little more texture. Give it a little more contrast there.
It just gets all jumbled, like where the tree meets the water. There's so many broken tree branches there and
Yeah,
everything.
down on the left here.
Boy, I wish,
What if we cropped it from the left so the jumbled area isn't as jumbled?
okay, that's getting there.
Maybe there's, and maybe the, just a little bit. Yeah, I see your point. It's a hard one, Nancy.
Oh, I just, those reflections just get me. They're beautiful. You know, if I'd have been there to shoot this, I think I would have shot more down.
Yeah,
Like bring the camera down more so that I really capture the reflections a lot more.
yep. So other than moving around, yeah, there's not much more in this. Let's go to the second one. That's, oops.
Well, that's got a lot of punch to it. The immediate thing I see is I think we've got some blown out highlights, but they're out of focus highlights, so I'm not sure what happens if we take the highlights down and if there's anything recoverable there. Yeah,
It's some, but at the tip, right in here, it's not
Yeah.
recoverable.
yeah.
But that's where we've gotten there.
Yeah, I like the crop. I was thinking of a square, but I like the crop because the center bud is off center, which gives it some interest. Yeah, I don't know that I'd do anything else with it. Nancy, you got any
Yeah.
comments?
Can you try in a black and white, like a high contrast black and white?
Let me,
Take the exposure, the blacks down and,
Bring the bud in color.
let me see if the stamen. No.
Amy's got something to say.
Someone has something to say? Yes.
Try bringing the top left corner in a little bit.
Bring in what? Cropping?
Yeah,
Top left?
left corner. And
More,
I would have taken the corner, but
more.
bring it down just a little bit from the top.
Bring it down a little?
Just a little bit. I think you said,
What if you do texture on that? Don't do anything?
If we do texture on that, if we. Get a little sharpness there, and you do local things. Really depends what you want to, there's a lot, here really depends what you want it to look like. Yeah, Nancy. Oh, what do you,
no, I was
I think you're
blocking
raising
it
your
out.
hand. You're right, you're blocking it out. You tell me
Can
what
you make a vertical? And,
make it a vertical.
yeah, I don't know, just, yeah, go in a little bit more, maybe, I don't know, there's a lot of possibilities on this.
Yeah,
Different crops and stuff
some,
you could
you're
do.
right. I mean, you sometimes have to play
Yeah,
with different crops, it just is.
and then save the crops, you might want to go
Right.
back later and play around with it some more. I kind of like that one petal that's kind of coming over the top of the center of the flower, no, over.
Oh,
yeah,
over that one, yes.
Yeah. It's,
Bring the center back in color.
Bring the center back in color. You could do that. You could, actually in Photoshop, what you do is you would desaturate the whole image and then just paint over the center, and the center would become color too. That's a bit much for
Ooh.
us, but
Oh,
yeah,
are you okay?
able to be done.
Oh, ow.
Ooh,
He
that-
just hit his head.
okay, let's. Okay, Colleen.
Oh, look at that one. Wow.
Oh,
Not bad, yeah.
is Colleen here? Okay. Oh, yeah, Colleen was going to be here tonight. Okay, this is Colleen's first shot.
I think your crop looks really good. You've given enough room where the fishing pole goes out into the water, and the mist is really cool. That's really neat. Oh, that's probably not going to be a popular suggestion, but I'd like to see the man. I know he's in the fog. Maybe come out just a little bit more, but I'm not sure.
You'd like to see the man more?
Just pop more a little bit, but maybe not. You know,
That's
he's-
hard.
he's
I
in the
think
mist.
this is
I don't know.
a big blow up. Yeah, because I see a little pixelation.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I
in
can
it,
see
so
it up here.
That might make it hard.
You know what? If
to-
they had denoise on that, that would soften the whole thing up a little bit.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
would,
so
it would get
that's,
rid of the noise and it would kind of blend it in a little bit better. Yeah, give it a glowy effect.
actually, yeah, you're right. That's decreasing that down. But you're right. Actually, I didn't denoise it because that takes too much time, the AI, but I simulated that by just bringing the focus down, blurring it a little too.
Yeah,
But you're right.
I
That
like that
going
better
from
now.
that
yeah,
to that, now that has that dreamy effect.
right.
That really looks, yeah, actually makes it nice.
Anybody else have any suggestions?
In Photoshop, I would quickly, it's an easy thing to do. There's refraction here from the sun right over his head. You could see it up in the top here and
Yeah.
right over his head. That spot there of multiple rainbow colors. And I would just quickly just clone those out.
Does it bother anybody to have in the two lower corners, you have, it was like it was vignetted, maybe, I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
it's a different color than what's up at the top. The top
That-
is
yes.
dark, and then the bottom two corners are light.
That's
And that
probably
kind
his,
of-
yeah, that's his lens vignette.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the lens vignette, and you could go down to lens correction, I think manual, vignetting. Yep, you see it took care of that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because that was a lens problem, so good pickup there.
Is that a fish he caught or is that his lure?
Hard, I was thinking that, probably the lure. If that's what you've caught, that's, yeah. But
Well,
you're right, just the going from, taking that vignette, that was a lens problem there, that vignette out, and softening a bit too. Now you have that dreamy thing, that's really nice. So yeah, I think that makes a,
Could have been the corners of the hood, too. But maybe not.
yeah, I don't know, it's hard to tell. Usually those light, when it's light, in fact, I don't think those were corners. Oh, yes, they're darker, you're right. They could be either one. But again, we're able to manually remove that. So yeah, I think that's a nice improvement on a picture that's difficult, probably because it was really highly blown up and pixelated. And yeah,
Yeah, I like it better like
very
that.
good. Yeah, that is really nice, a dreamy effect. Okay.
Oh, this just got great color, a lot of punch to it, a lot of detail in the wings. The shutter speed's great to freeze the motion and the ripples in the water. This could be a tough, I don't think I would do anything to it. I like it the way it is. And we could play with crop until we're dead, but I don't mind the crop at all.
No, I'm just going to take the highlights down. I think that one spot is just blown out.
Yeah.
And drop the exposure a little. Do you mean make it lighter or darker? A little darker?
I think that hot spot on the wing would probably be a
Yes,
blinky when he
now
took
it's
it.
standing out.
Yeah, I think right. That's blown on the wing.
Boy, the ripples in the water are just beautiful.
yeah.
Oh, boy, that's gorgeous.
I don't know how the goose's wings turn blue. That's not natural color.
Yeah, I think I think that's the saturation has been up on this. You could always selectively take down blue sat, make it a little more natural. So yeah. Very nice. Let's see. Okay, Dan Hall. Is Dan here?
Right here.
Ah, okay.
Here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, snuck in.
What caught me on this image was the shoe.
Oh, is the mic on there?
Yes,
Okay.
but the image caught my attention in this photo. This is from last Sunday.
You know, I was gonna ask you, what in there caught your eye on this particular photo? Well, if that's what you,
Crop down to the shoe.
Okay, crop down to the shoe. So the
Right.
shoe is what caught your interest.
Yes.
So let's then,
Oh,
Yeah, you can hold down option, when you're cropping, it'll go right to the center of it.
but I want to move, just to get a starting
Come in on
idea.
the left a little more, like to the,
Okay. Dan, you're saying what? Crop on,
come in on the left.
come in on the
Yeah,
left.
more. Not that much.
Okay.
Just to the back of her, just to the post there.
Okay, so I got it to the back of the
In
post.
about, in about there,
Okay, we'll balance it up this way.
right?
We'll and this way it's,
Down to the top of her foot.
you want the top down some more?
Yeah, just to the top of her foot, kind of.
Okay. Let me see.
Got some noise there now.
So is that what you were envisioning?
Yeah, that's what caught my eye.
Okay. Let me give it a bit of,
so you didn't wanna crawl on the ground and sneak up on her, try to get
Well,
that shoe?
I can't, if I get down that low, I won't be
I
able to
know,
get
I
back
know what you
up.
mean. I need a couch to get me back up.
okay, so if that's what you were, yeah, that crop will do. These cameras nowadays are good enough. You notice we could read the converse real well too. And we've cropped a ton, so. Good.
And if you had AI, I'm sorry about all this, if you went around like that, on the shoe behind, like where that, the dead branch is coming down, you could try to go around that and see if it wouldn't pick up what was behind that, that branch too.
Okay.
Okay. And your other one? Great, Dan. What were you trying here?
It's not in the picture.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, this is, sorry, it went to, let me. There
we
you
are.
go.
Oh, there we go, all right.
Okay.
Just the look on her face caught my eye on this one.
Yeah, you got a lot going on here. Something I don't know if we need to correct this, but we noticed when we were zoomed in is it's tilted a little bit. I don't know if it's worth trying to correct that or not. You can see on the red brick on the left, you can tell it's a little tilted. Yeah, the other, and then you'll just have to crop in a little bit where we got that white edge. So the one thing I would do is I would crop from the right over to the girl with the striped top.
Crop from the
Yeah,
right
yeah,
over to the
keep
girl.
going.
Keep going.
Just before you touch her. Yeah, I like that. Could maybe bring up, I don't know, if we try to bring it from the bottom, we're gonna cut out the coffee, whatever those are.
Yeah.
I think I like it the way it is. I like that crop. The exposure's really good. Like you said, the expression is the picture. You know, there was a reunion, great joke going on or whatever. But
Will you crop any more?
Yes.
I'm thinking from the left,
Oh.
just because we don't really add much.
And from the bottom up to get that little chair
Yeah.
out of the back of the chair on the bottom left?
Crop the bottom, as
Yeah,
Chris said, though, that's some of those
No,
coffee.
not that part. No, go down. You still have part of the table. Keep going. You get the,
right there.
Oh, yeah, try there, see what that looks like.
Right there, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
so you don't lose those coffee bags.
yeah, 'cause I like that
Yeah.
interest, that coffee bags, and they were really nice.
Those are pillows.
Oh, they're pillows? Oh, sorry.
It's
Oh, they're
okay.
pillows.
It's a coffee shop.
Okay, yeah, so there's just a little, yeah. Beautiful, Dan. See, but you noticed the moment, you got it, that's the key, and this is all touch-up. You had the vision,
Thank you.
you got them. Good. Okay. Dave Korosek.
Hey, is he here?
Okay,
Oh, was
Dave's
this at
not
Hale
here.
Farm? Huh?
okay.
That's such an expressive photograph and portrait. The lighting on that is really nice too. It's all natural light coming in. And I like the expression on his face, his hands, everything. I'm glad you turned this into a black and white because there's no color in it to get in your way. You see like I said, the depth of his expression on his face is wonderful. His eyes are so nice and sharp. And even the wrinkles between his eyebrows just even adds to his expression even more. And I like the way it's cropped. You don't need to show the legs or anything, but you can even see the texture in his vest. It's a very dynamic picture. Really, really nice. Beautiful portrait.
Yeah, I wouldn't change, yeah, I agree with you.
Good lighting on the face.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Great lighting.
Hmm. And nice shadows on the other side too.
Good.
It's beautiful.
Chris?
Yeah,
you're-
I'm still reading. The only thing I'm a little troubled about is if that's the gunner, that's a 50 cal, by the way. The gunner's helmet, I'm not sure if that's just his helmet just sitting there, or if that's his head. But,
The helmet.
yeah, I think it's just a helmet. I don't like that his toe is cut off, so maybe crop up from the bottom.
Crop up?
Yeah, get past his ankle. Nancy will tell you, you don't want to cut at joints. Right, Nancy?
Yep.
Yeah, so I don't get the helmet there.
Yeah,
Okay.
get down a little, just a little bit. Yeah, I like that. I like the more panoramic because it's how the gun is, how the machine gun is aimed, and the artillery or the cannon kind of leads you into that direction.
Yeah, that does, that's interesting. You're right, with the bottom of the shoe cut off, that kind of disturbed me there, but with them out of the picture, that is more pleasing.
I don't know, maybe a little contrast,
Okay.
and I can't tell if we need to do exposure or not, but yeah. Yeah, I like that better.
Yeah,
Said black and whites really are always begging for contrast.
Did you say don't cut at a joint?
so we go from there.
Don't cut it a joint.
Yeah, yeah, that is a little bump in contrast, and okay. Very nice.
You know, their faces are so interesting. They're so intense. This is one good crop. I don't know if you cropped it down a little bit more to just get their faces in. I'm just that, I don't know.
Crop it out to just so it's more like
Yeah,
them.
Yeah, and then going in on the other side.
So then you're
And
taking
I
out.
just want to see, because I think their faces are so intense and so interesting, and they're so in focus that, I don't know, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it almost looks like, hey, somebody's got a gun to his
Yeah.
head.
This you'd have to play with for a while to see.
But there's several different possibilities. That first one that you did before was good, and
Yeah.
and there's a lot of different possibilities on this.
Yeah,
But their faces are incredible.
yeah,
Just,
this one there, you
really
could
good.
focus just on them. Right, it's just, there are multiple images you
Oh,
can
yeah,
get out of this.
lots of different ones you can do on this one.
Yeah,
But their tonal range on the black and white is really nice. You can, all the different light and shadows in their shirts.
okay. Elaine Joseph. Oh, Is Elaine here? Okay, this is her first shot.
Oh, Elaine's not here? I'm not hearing anything. I would bring it down from the top a little bit and get, I know that boat it's up there is interesting, but part of its mast is kind of cut off at the top.
So what would you want to come down from the top?
Yeah, I'd come down.
Okay, we're going
like
to get
below it,
some-
right.
some of
And
the-
then I'd like to see this in black and white, because right now there's so many different colors and so much going on that. You've got a lot of nice contrast. I'd go a little bit darker in the blacks.
That brings it out a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see that.
From the right, maybe get rid of the buildings that are now chopped off.
Crop in from the right a little to
To
get
go to
those
there, yeah.
buildings that were chopped off a
Yeah.
little there. Okay, we're going from, let's go from our black and whites. Yeah, so we went from there. Oh, I agree, that's, yeah, without that boat on top and, yeah, that actually is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, real easy, yeah. No, no.
A
yeah, you
tinge
can.
more
Yeah, okay.
contrast. Can, you could play around with those.
What about copying more from the top and get rid of that,
That building on the top?
the building on
Yeah,
the
keep,
top?
go down farther. or-
Then you're,
yeah.
okay, and
But
you're,
you know what I
okay.
like about that? You've got that nice curvy
Right, that
beach
you
that
got
comes
the
in
curves
there,
coming
like
around
that and
like that.
around. Yeah, you got that.
Yeah, see if you do that,
Yeah, get rid of the curve.
yeah, it just kind of,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, that's nice.
Too cropped.
Yeah,
What
that
if you
boat.
cropped in more from the right, so the curve of the beach would be,
More from the right?
yeah, more,
Okay.
I don't know.
Now, you see, I don't want to crop through this building, or, yeah, sure, I could do through the building. You tell me when.
Keep on going.
Keep on, well, okay, then I'm getting the street in the bottom.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
the street makes a curve, so let's try from there.
No, you need more at the top, yeah.
Well, but then you're going to get these buildings
Oh, yeah,
that are half,
yeah.
too, so you would play, you're right, no breathing room. You gotta, you just gotta play with this. And you go, that's the nice thing about this being non-destructive, is you could just go back and through and see which one just looks best to you, and you can go back and forth.
Yeah, going back to the original image, I'd be inclined to Photoshop the boat out, because I think that vertical tower at the top kind of helps wrap that city edge. Kind of
Okay.
enclosure.
That's a good idea. There was a suggestion to Photoshop the boat out, and I'll take its wake there,
I
up to there.
like the wavy facades of
Yeah.
these buildings kind of
Okay.
moving around it, and then it terminating in those kind of
Oops.
towers at the top.
Okay, so that's taking the boat out. So that is, where's it? Yeah. You're right, that's another thing you could do in there, keep that wave, and then you could go to your black and white and redo this again to get it.
Play for hours.
Yeah, right, that's just it. You can, and once you know these things, it's yeah. Have lots of options. Okay, let's move on. Okay, Chris,
Got
I
a lot
think.
of- Yeah, a lot of drama because of the lighting, the spotlight on this, which I guess is that spotlight that we're seeing that's cutting off the, is that a menu, or, I'm not sure what that is. I'm a little confused about what I would do with this. I like the idea that they spotlit it, but I would like the light. With what we've got, I think that the only thing I would do is maybe darken that background, what's not on the spotlight, but
Yeah, I agree. This is a rough one because the thing I don't think we could change, whatever this
Yeah,
black thing is
that's the light,
here.
I
That's the
think.
light, it looks like.
It's a
It-
Oh,
table
that's the
lamp.
light. That's a table light.
Yeah,
I think so, yeah.
or it's
Yeah.
a, it's a, yeah, it's a
It
floor
just-
light with a stand, with a light off the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just, at odds of what to do here. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. You know, if I could get that light out, you know, that black thing out, and maybe just rotate it a tiny bit.
I think she wants to focus on the body.
Yeah, the vase is the
Yeah,
point
the
of
vase is
interest.
the point of focus. This is difficult. I'm not sure what I do on this.
That shadow play around the bottom is interesting. It doesn't show up on that, but
Yeah.
it does on the side.
Unless, let me try some texture here. You know, maybe if that back was in a little more,
Crop out the light, crop it out.
yeah, then you're coming down real close then. You know, if you're that light, because we have the top of that menu, now the menus are kind of disembodied. So if I was
The menus
real,
aren't the point, though.
huh?
The menus aren't the point, it's the vases.
Right, okay, that's a good point. The menus aren't the point. Yeah, so you're centering more then, I see what you're saying, you're centering more on the main object there. Yeah, that's one way around it.
I think the vase has a lot of interest in its contrast and that detail, because that has that pattern work is pretty exceptional.
Yeah,
And anything, you know, that can be done to kind of bring that, that contrast and accentuate that, I think will help.
Yeah.
Where everything else is kind of a little bit more generic, the wood grain and the blurred out menu.
I agree with you. So in other words, yeah, and I hadn't thought of this, the main object being the vase. We've kind of taken the other elements out that were distracting. Yeah, I agree with you. That is a bit.
Can you even unsharpen the background even more than the menus,
I could,
or more of a blur?
that would be kind of hard. If I wanted to do let's say, a down and dirty thing, I could take let me see, a brush, because they're already mostly out of focus, with clarity all the way down. Yeah, that's to some extent. There. Like that, you mean?
Yeah, it's not changing it much.
Yeah, it changes it, yeah, a little, but right, these are things all to bring out this main point. But I still think this is I'm agreeing with all of you out there, this is an improvement from that, which is a bit busy and, yeah. Okay. That's Eric. I know Eric's here. Eric's in the back there. We'll give him a mic. Whoa.
So, full disclosure, I changed the boat. It was originally a speedboat. I changed it to a picture of a sailboat that I got same night, just not there.
So you put the speedboat, you put the boat in here?
I changed the boat. There was a boat there, but it was a speedboat.
Doesn't changing involve taking out and then putting in? It's just, you didn't reconstruct it board by board.
No.
I was
Yeah.
just curious how you did. No, so you removed one and put in the other? Okay, beautiful. You can't tell at all. Is that the way the sun looked?
Yep.
Wow.
There was a red line around it, like at the, in it,
In that picture,
Yeah, the
doesn't match.
Yeah, Eric, what's the red around it?
I'm not actually sure. Might have been sharpening or something.
Sure.
Not the same sky,
That is,
because you put the
N-
sailboat in place of, you got the sky and the boat.
no, the sky and the sun and the water were the original picture. The sailboat's the only thing I changed.
Interesting. So is this a real big telephoto
Yes.
to get the sun like that? Yeah, I wonder if that's some kind of diffraction or whatnot. That is really unusual. Which one of you have this?
Me.
I know. I
I
kind of
got
just
a
don't
big
know.
question mark above my head.
It's interesting. It's really.
I like the silhouette of the boat is nice. But the rest of it is confusing to me. And I don't see any reflections of the sky and the water very much. I do up here in this one, but does anybody else have any suggestions? Because I'm stumped.
I would lose some of the water, just bring it up, crop
Yeah.
up from the bottom, because there's not a lot of interest in, like you said, there's not much reflection in the water.
Yeah, that's a key giveaway, that reflection missing. Something's not right. There should be a reflection of the sky and the sun.
He has a pretty bright sun, you think you have some reflection.
Okay, so this is confusing me, but what if you made it into an abstract or some type? Is that a possibility? I don't know if you would crop down more on the sun and then do something wild to it in Photoshop, or
It's kind of good direct. That's right. Kind of do something funky.
I mean, to go with it, just if it's going to be like this, go with it, do something crazy to it.
Like Topaz Studio would do something crazy to it.
Yeah.
This was Eric. It's your picture. What would you like? I mean, it's interesting because it is almost like an abstract. Yeah, it's like a painting almost. It's different. It doesn't.
You think you'd see a shadow of the boat on the water, you know?
Yeah, or the sun. I don't know.
The sky itself is pretty, behind the sun or around the sun, but
It's got the
But you could almost make this a.
line around it.
Was this taken on Earth?
Yeah, I was gonna say it almost looks like.
where were you really?
No, that's the first thing I thought of. No, Eric, I really like it. It almost looked like Jupiter, in the back, with the lines. But I
Okay.
think making this almost like an abstract, like Nancy says, you just do that, and like a painting, which is just this is just a pleasant image. I mean, I don't know what the red streaks across the sun are. I just like it. This is just, it's
I
got
think the
nice
re-
colors and everything, and
I don't know what they are around the sun, but the ones through it is just clouds.
Clouds.
It was
Yeah.
barely. It was almost misty. It was the amount of clouds.
maybe if the telephoto was big enough, this is Jupiter. This is, no, I'm not. No, this is not, because I once had a painting like this. If you look at this, yeah.
Try go to the highlights and turn the pink down.
The highlights and,
Turn the pink down.
oh, you mean in the HSL, just tone the pinks down?
Yeah, the hue, go to the hue, hit the hue button.
Hue,
Hit the button on the left,
and,
drag it in there, and drag that down, or drag it the other way.
yeah, see, it's going to affect the sun on all of these. You'd have to do it with masking and whatnot.
No, drag it the other way, it'll change the color.
Yeah, but it's also going to change the sun.
turn it into black and white. Let's see what we got there.
Okay, okay, turn it into black and white. Ah,
Yeah.
actually, that's interesting.
But now you'd really expect to see a shadow of the boat on the water.
I just like this as I like it both ways. I'd like this as a painting, not a I'd like this on my wall as a just something pleasant to look at. Not a realistic depiction of, even if this is all made, whatnot, and yes, there should be a shadow or whatnot. I look at this and it just looks pleasing to me, so,
Yeah, I agree, it's a nice looking image.
yeah. Okay, on that, let me,
Now we're back to Earth.
Different night, just a boat in the lighthouse, from Whiskey Island.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a pleasant image. And I don't know that I would change anything, and we can play with a couple things. What bothers me a little bit is the boat, we're seeing the back side of the boat, and it's going away from the lighthouse. And when you've got two objects that are prominent like this, they kind of compete against each other. If you had another image where the boat was sailing toward the lighthouse, it might work a little bit better. I'm not sure what I would do. We've been playing with a lot of things here tonight. There isn't anything outstanding that grabs me. The exposure looks really good. I mean, it's well exposed.
I got a question here. What about giving this an inch more on the right?
Yeah, give the boat some room to sail
Yeah.
into.
In other words, I see more, rather than cropping here, is
Mm-hmm.
the boat is sailing out this way. These are both kind of in the middle. This would be an easy one, just an inch this way. It would be perfect. You just have an inch more water, whatnot, and these would be.
And then the story would be that the boat is leaving the harbor.
What was that?
And then the story would be that the boat's leaving the harbor.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that, the boat is going that way, and that would be such an easy thing to do, is just give it another inch on the right. Okay. Otherwise, great. Let's see. Okay, Gary? I don't think Gary's here. Oops. Let me. Okay.
I love the contrast on this one. It must have been shot like closer to noon or something. You've got some really harsh shadows on here. It almost looks like it could be a statue with the skin. I mean, I know it's not, but skin has, you can really see the pores and stuff on the skin. I mean, it's nicely done as far as, it's almost like an abstract portrait, but it's not. And I like it's interesting. I really like her face. To me, I like older people's faces. There's such character in the lines and on her face and the large pores. The sunglasses are interesting. They're casting an interesting shadow down the front of her face. And it's kind of a high contrast photograph. It's interesting to me. I don't know that the lighting, what do I want to say? The lighting isn't perfect on it, but that's all right. She's not perfect either, and it's just kind of I do like this photograph.
Yeah, it's hard. I agree with you. If you're just shooting
I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah.
in sunlight. In bright sunlight, there's.
But I kind of liked it a little bit darker. Like I said, it's
Yeah,
almost like
that's the original.
Like I don't want to say Andy Warhol. I'm trying to think of who kind of shoots like this. Oh shoot, I can't think. Never mind.
No. This is nice. I'm wondering if the background is artificially blackened. I see artifacts of masking around the hair.
Oh, do you? Okay.
So it might have been a background that was, and because I was looking, it's hard to tell.
I think it's an interesting portrait. You
Yeah.
know, it wouldn't be one like that I would shoot or whatever, but I think it's very interesting that they captured the shot, and I think it's interesting with the lighting. It's just different. It's not something you would normally
Yeah.
see. And her
Okay.
wrinkles are amazing.
I like that. The wrinkles are amazing.
Yeah,
That's-
yeah. We'll just keep telling ourselves
See,
that.
that's
yeah.
right. I got, that's it. Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, this is beautiful. Yeah, I just love the way the light's coming down on the mountain in the distance. The storm coming in. We've been doing so much with things tonight. I'm kind of afraid to do anything when I see something that looks this nice. And you never, when I sit down in Lightroom, you're always playing with the sliders. What will this do? What will that do? It looks like it's got a very good tonal range to me, and I think it's got enough contrast, but I would double check the contrast and see. I might be inclined to bring it up from the bottom just a little bit, because the meadow in the foreground is just not, we need the foreground, but it's not as interesting as what's going on in the distance. And we've got that kind of an S curve with the river going around, yeah.
I just bumped the contrast a tiny bit.
Yeah.
And
Oh, very nice image, I like
it's a
it.
beautiful image.
Yeah.
Does anybody see the face in the cloud?
Does anybody see the face in the cloud?
Oh,
Oh,
up
right
there?
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
2 eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 eyes, the nose, and the mouth. Kind of watching over. That's a good pickup. Didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Would you delete or crop out the tree on the right? 'Cause it's only
Crop out the tree on the right, so it's just there. Let me see. Interesting point.
half a tree.
Okay. Without taking, see, I don't want to crop up to that cloud, because the cloud, so what you could do in this case is your point about the tree like that, and these little bits that are left, you just pop those out with the content aware.
Yeah, some of the cropping that we're doing is leaving us a little more square
Yeah.
than I think we would like. I mean, our eye likes to look at rectangles. That's, books are that way, so much of our world is that way. To me, the exception is the head of a flower. A single blossom is a good square crop, but otherwise, I think we really like to look at rectangles.
Yep, and again, this is all to taste. I mean, this was a beautiful picture that we started out with.
I can't tell, but it feels like it might be rotated. It should rotate maybe 1 degree clockwise, and maybe that's just based on the tree, but it's, harder in nature because things
Yeah,
are not, man-made.
I see your point. The question was, need to be rotated a tiny bit, or does it be because of this tree here? And you're right, usually trees are the straight up and down one, but that mountain looks straight. I bet the tree is off a little. Let me try. But that's a good point, but that mountain looks awful straight. Let me rotate a little here. So if I rotate to do the tree straight, and let me just, whoops. Okay, let me,
Would you bust your finger?
yeah.
No, I had surgery on my finger. I had a cyst on it.
Hard to tell. Yeah,
This is-
it's hard because we were starting with a
It's huge.
really nice picture. So, okay,
I broke my wrist.
let's go on to, Gary, you're here.
I wondered if that's fast, 'cause I
You got the mic there.
kept breaking.
Let's give Gary the mic.
The Great Blue Heron Rookery, Ira Road. It was a overcast day.
Wow.
I wanted to keep the nest in to make it obvious that it's nest building, so the males bring in the branches and then the female positions it in the nest.
I agree. That's interesting. And also that tree branch that's in the nest kind of leads you right on up and up to the bird on that really tall branch. But what if you take a little bit, there's a lot of empty space over on the left-hand side. What if you bring it in just a little bit?
Tell me when.
Okay. Maybe right about there, so that the lower, on the lower left-hand side, you've got that one branch that's coming up. It's a little bit higher. I think that's all right.
Right,
Try-
well,
just try-
the thing you could do is, if this is as far as you wanted to bring it in, you could always, if that branch bothered you or sticking out, you could take that out.
Oh, yeah.
Rather than trying to crop it out, so.
But I
there.
think it might give it a nice edge on, around that bottom. If you take it out, you're gonna have an even more empty
Right.
space down in the lower left-hand corner.
No, I agree.
And, you know, and there's so many tree branches in there, but it doesn't take away too much from the bird because it kind of mimics the bird, the feathers coming out of the bird's wing like this, and you've got the tree branches coming out too. And I like that yeah.
It's pure chance, but I like the way the branch curves, like the wing curves.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree. I
Right.
agree.
And this is one, this is beautiful, and you say, well, but this branch is cutting right through and busy, is to get this shot in the wild. You can't, it's not like you can move to the left or move to the right or something. It's perfect. And you work with what you have. But I think your crop, Nancy, what this does is it works out nice because now this is more of a square thing, and this diagonal of that branch kind of
Yes.
leads us right to the nest.
Yeah,
It helps.
yeah.
Helps.
You know what, too, you have to crop to the frame size you're gonna use, and we haven't really thought about that
Joe?
at all.
Yeah. Yep, what was that?
Oh, it's back on. It's on
In the
again.
real world, we're typically we're gonna frame these typically, and we haven't really cropped the frame sizes. We're just
Yeah,
carte blanche cropping.
yeah.
Willy-nilly almost. That's
Well, this is why and you're right, there is a big difference. This is why I started off the presentation with between studio work and work in the wild. These birds are, sometimes you take what you get, and you get the perfect thing, and there's nothing you can do about the branches or whatnot, but knowing some of the techniques that might help in some of the branches, either in getting rid of them or whatnot too, or.
You might want to frame them when you get home. I frame my photos.
We could cut down from the top to make it more rectangular.
So you got to frame it to whatever size you want to frame.
Oh, but that's a different, no, that's a good point. When you're dealing with framing it, you have a certain aspect ratio unless you cut a custom mat and that kind of thing. If you cut a custom,
Maybe we're framing 11 by 14, which is a decent size.
but if you have a particular thing where this crop works perfectly for you, and it's not 11 by 14 or whatever, too, that your frame is going to be, you just have a mat cut custom to that, and then put it in the 11 by 14 frame, so you get to keep your crop the way it is. So you could do that, very easily. If a certain crop is absolutely key, because remember, you're not putting this in a frame, edge to edge in a frame, you're putting it in a mat. And the mat could be the 16 by 20 mat, which normally has an 11 by 14 opening, but instead of an 11 by 14 opening, you can have them cut it to whatever your particular picture aspect ratio is. Yeah, so, but,
Hobby Lobby does a really nice job, even
Yeah.
for framing. They'll do a custom frame for you, pretty reasonable. Yeah, they do a really nice job.
yep,
Hobby Lobby in Macedonia.
yeah, like let's say in this picture,
In Nor-
that Gary really liked this,
Huh?
that this crop, with this branch and everything too, that this crop works perfectly, and this is really good, and he wanted to put this on his wall. You'd want to keep this crop, and you would have a custom mat cut for this. You'd put it in an 11 by 14 frame, or 16 by, whatever it is as well, and then this would go on the wall. What we usually do for most pictures is we crop it 11 by 14 or 8 to make it fit in that mat, which works most of the time, but if you have a particular crop where the crop is everything, that's easy to do also.
Right.
Well, Gary, what do you think of this crop?
I like it.
Yeah,
Could you set it for 11 by 14 and see how close we are?
11 by 4, just go back to the original and see what an 11 by 14.
No, switch
Yeah.
switch the crop size to 11 by 14.
Yeah,
now.
I'm going to switch the crop to aspect.
see an original, it is.
Yeah, original, right, 11 by 14. I'll do a custom 14 by 11. Okay, so that's your 11, oh, let me, and let me lock the aspect ratio. Okay, so that's your 11 by 14.
There you go, yeah. Pick the bottom right-hand corner. Get all of the bottom right-hand corner in.
And put it at the nest
Yeah,
where we had it. Oops.
okay.
So as close as we could get, so this would be an 11 by 14.
And it's close to what we had.
Yeah, and it's right. So my point was sometimes you could make it work, and this works perfectly like that. Other times, if you can't, there are options. But this is beautiful. Really
I
nice
agree.
capture.
Beautiful.
I got. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, that's really nice. And it was taken in some pretty harsh light, and you still got really good texture on the petals.
Look at that.
Is that what is that, bug?
Yeah, it's a little bug.
Little bug.
Landing.
Coming in for a landing, right?
Yeah.
Might pull the highlights down a little bit. The one directly behind the center is a little harsh.
Pull the highlights down a little.
No, it didn't work.
Well, no, what you could do is, in fact, let me see if we have, right, because it brings all the highlights down too, is you could just bring the highlights down.
Yeah, right there.
Wait, I'm going to change it. Then I'll just go back and something like that would be the difference of that versus there. Is that what you're talking about, Chris?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. I might, just for fun of it, go to transform and rotate it counterclockwise a little bit.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not.
I'll do whatever you want, but that's rotate it.
Counterclockwise. Yeah, it looks tilted to me. There. And now get the crop back.
It was.
Oh, you mean to make it
Right, yeah.
go straight up? You're disorienting that bug.
Yeah, the bee is out now.
Well, it looks good.
That looks straighter to me.
Even though flowers aren't supposed to be straight
You
necessarily.
know. Well, the water it's floating on probably is, but,
It's on a stalk that's leaning over a little.
oh,
Yeah, it looks better.
Zoom in on the bug, Richard. Zoom way in on the bug.
Zoom way in on the bug. Okay. Let me. Wait a second.
well, it's really sharp.
Jeez, wow.
Topaz.
Topaz, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, and things aren't, when you look, I mean, topaz, these things are not miracle workers. When you look on the left here to see the size of that bug and what we're doing, we're seeing a lot compared to, this is a dot on this picture here, you could see on the left.
Jeez.
So,
You probably didn't see that till you pulled it up on your computer, right?
nice, that's,
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
okay.
I love the subtle effect of the tonal range of the leaves in the background.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
I can't either from here.
okay, I want to get through everyone tonight.
Okay. You want us to cut back on
Let's
our
go to-
comments a little bit?
No, we'll just, I'll just keep my mouth shut. No. This is George Klepis. George here? Yep, George is out right there. Okay, George.
I took this at Stone Garden, one of the last field trips. I just liked the way that dead tree kind of stood out amongst everything else.
Yeah, I thought that was at Stone Garden Farm. That's back in the woods, kind of back behind the barns and so forth. Back
Yep.
off. Yeah,
Yep.
I love that. I always thought that was so neat back in there with all those trees. I'm looking here on the side monitor. I might just darken it down just a little bit, but other than that,
Would you do anything, and this is just a personal taste, would you do anything with cropping?
hint, hint. Yeah.
No, I'm just
No,
curious.
I know.
Yeah, the tree is the center,
I'd
Yeah.
like to get it out of the center.
Yeah.
or just,
Try it a little
or
bit.
not in the center, yeah, it's the,
Take a little bit off the right, maybe.
okay, let me. Maybe a little of that. Just,
Maybe make it off to the side more, like the third.
okay, let me come back to that. Okay, so take off which side, to do what now? We cropped a little off the right.
Keep going off the right so that the trunk is right in the right rule of thirds. Yeah,
Okay, I don't want to cut off
Yeah,
part of the tree.
Yeah,
no, yeah.
yeah.
Actually, what I could do to, well, no, that's, okay, so like
No,
right
I like it
there.
right there, yeah.
I would watch out for the white barn and the cars and stuff in the background, you know, too. And you already kind of eliminated some of that because of the contrast of this wild tree and then the man-made stuff. And it's getting there, but anything that, you know, can help to, you know, mitigate those cars and the. I think
Yeah,
helps.
the cars are, those are difficult. They're woven in with the trees there.
That's tough.
And, you know, you could work on that. That would be and you could give it a try. That would be a rough one, though,
Yeah.
because of the way they are.
Maybe bring it back up. AI version 2.
Yeah, maybe
Maybe bring the top back up so you're not cutting off the top of those trees. Maybe,
crop the top down a little.
no, bring it back up so you're not cutting off.
We haven't,
Oh, you're at the top?
we're at the top already.
Okay, just so those trees weren't cut off.
Right. So we're at the top there. You could always, to make that tree stand out a little more, there are, and I don't even know if this works, there are minor things. You can see what I'm increasing exposure by a brush, and I'm brushing it over a little bit of these. I'm just guessing here. You know, a little bit of it's like dodging and burning. And now, if I go back, what was it? Let's go from our crop. Okay, and the brush. Yeah, okay, so there's from the crop, and just lightening with the brush and a few little things, it may make that stand out a little. You know, you'd have to play with this. It's very hard because it blends into the trees. I really like it, but that's,
Yeah, I love the light on the bark of the trees surrounding that,
Yeah.
that tree too. And you're gonna think I'm nuts, but I really like the lower parts of all the trees. Like if you're just wandering through the woods, I can
Yeah.
just see myself going through there, and it's just beautiful. That woods always fascinated me when I go
yeah,
out there.
it's a lush green. Yeah,
Yeah.
the trees meeting that, they just kind of look like they're stuck in them.
Yeah,
Which they are.
yeah, yeah.
That's the,
Are we making sense tonight?
that's
No.
yeah. Oh,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's
Everybody
that's-
likes pet pictures.
Yeah, that's my dog
So-
Xander.
Oh, do you want to comment, George?
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm just telling you, that's my dog Xander.
The most important part is about the only thing we've got sharp here, and that's the eye, which it's, everything else, the depth of field is shallow enough, it looks like it was intentional. You meant to do that, right, George?
No, yes.
Okay.
No, I focus on the eye for sure, and I want to kind of
Yeah.
get his face in, but
Yeah, if I were gonna reshoot this, I would really like to have his whole head be sharp, from the tip of the nose to the ear, and the rest of the body being soft is fine. I'd call this a high key because of what he's on. It looks like more of a high key, but very sharp. I think if we zoomed in, we'd see you with the reflection of you in his eye.
no, you just see the ceiling fan
a
actually.
ceiling fan.
All right.
It's a 5-blade ceiling fan.
And the ISO on this is 12,800.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
Wow.
And the ISO was what?
It's 12,800 on this.
All
which
right.
I was surprised. I'm just
Work.
amazed on these sensors.
Yeah.
They're just
Oh,
incredible.
yeah, the
Yeah.
sensors are great. And yeah, and speaking to Chris's point, these are difficult because when you're in this close, your depth of field is small. And even if you shoot at F16 or 22, you're still gonna have a small depth of field, you know, to get from there to his snout. Yeah, so a difficult shot, but the eye is the critical thing. That's
Yeah,
That
yeah, that's the
Fan on
pictures,
that's
yeah.
pretty neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
beautiful.
What were the settings?
They are 70 millimeter lens, 12,800 ISO, f2.8.
Wow.
So this is one where, at an 800th of a second. So you could have gone to f, 8 or something too, and be down at maybe a 1/125th of a second. I mean, there was enough light to do that. You don't need an 800th to get that. So yeah, I would have gone for as high an ISO as high an f-stop as Chris said to get more in focus.
The 2.8,
Yeah, 2.8, right. I would try at least f8, and that would give you maybe more. Okay. Jim McConnell, he's not here because he sent in comments.
I'm right here,
Oh,
McDonald.
then why you said, oh, yeah, okay. Should I read your comment?
I don't know what my comments are.
Your comment was the challenge is correcting the shadow running through the image?
Yeah,
That was in case you couldn't be here.
I don't know what
I'm sorry. Yes, well, go ahead.
Well, yeah, that's it. That's a new eagle, born in the spring, so it was a couple months old at this point. He's playing around in the grass, attacking something. But the image is pretty good, except, the only problem is that shadow is of the building. It catches part of it, and I don't really know a way to get rid of it, but that's the one down part of the image.
Who's going to take this one?
I'll take it.
Okay.
First, I think I crop down on that and I get rid of a lot of the building and a lot of what's going on around it. Because the bird is your focal point.
Tell me up from the top. Any-
Yeah, and then for a little bit from, a lot from the bottom.
Tell
Go
me
on up,
when.
Keep going. Right about there. And maybe a little bit from the left. Okay, and try that crop and see how that looks.
Actually, that makes the shadow less prominent
Yeah.
because it's not
It's
going
not
as much as
long.
the screen. Yeah.
Can you darken the highlights a little bit?
I was just trying that. It takes it a little. Let me try. Again, I'm just kind of guessing on the fly. A brush with exposure down. Let me just guess on an exposure. I can change that. So I'm just painting in some, and again, you would do this much more carefully when you're doing it on your own.
But this balances between the light and the dark then, a little bit.
Yeah,
If you
so
darken the
right, by
light down.
darkening this, if we darken everything, the shadow gets darker. By just darkening these highlights a little, it makes the shadow not as prominent.
And if you try to lighten the dark a little bit, it might become too contrasty. The green
try
might
to-
turn up a little.
They say trying to lighten the other side.
Yeah, I think it might come out a little bit too contrasty or too harsh,
Let's see.
maybe.
Oh, wrong way.
Well, that's, I mean, all the place, so.
The different shades, grass in the shade is a blue and grass in the sun is a yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's nothing much you could do about that. The shadow, it's difficult because it runs through the whole thing. Other than little tricks like this to lessen it, there's not, let me see. Yeah, by cropping the shadow was less prominent because there's less of it. And then with these little things we did, we went from that to that.
It already had a huge crop on it to begin with, so this
Yeah.
is even more, but yeah.
Yeah, but when I read your comment initially, the shadow, yeah, there's no good way.
Right,
You know, the little tricks like this, but
yeah,
yeah, you get it as best you can.
right.
And again, it's the wild. I mean, when he's if he was landing a foot to the left or a foot to the right, we wouldn't have that problem, but you have no control over that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay, let's try your.
So I went to the zoo a couple months ago, and I took some pictures. I spent 1,000 shots on the tiger, but he was playing with the ball in the water. I got some great shots, but this guy was he's been by himself for every time I go there. He's for about 2 years now. They got to get a partner, but anyway, I got about 50 of him, and he. This was the best where he kind of looks up and, you know, looks a little bit active, I guess. But I don't know, I thought it was a good picture. It's kind of muted because of he's in the shade, and he's got muted colors. So there wasn't a whole lot to do, but I think it's, you know, it's sharp, in focus. But I don't know. I did the best I could with it, but maybe you guys have some thoughts.
Yeah, you've already done the one thing I was gonna suggest, it is a little bit off, tilted, but we need to do something with that foreground lower right. That hot spot really draws your attention.
Yeah. And that's.
We can't crop the whole thing out.
No,
You,
go ahead, Nancy, what were you gonna?
his face is so fantastic. I don't know that you need the tail in there or that one leg that's sticking out. I'd crop it in more towards the face.
You wanna make it a vertical portrait?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that face is amazing.
Okay, then let me correct
then-
the rotation a little.
And then you'd get rid of all the grass on the right side.
Yeah.
Oh, I want that. Look at his eyes. Wow.
I second and third.
Yeah, but I like him as a whole. I like him as a whole animal. I know what you're saying about the grass, and I agree, but if there's a way to get rid of that brightness of the grass, that'd be great, but I like him as an animal, complete.
Okay, in that
Okay.
case, then, let me, okay. Now, the grass, then, if we were gonna try anything with the grass, we would take a brush and we'd see with our highlights all the way down whether that would help. And that takes out a little, but some of those are blown, which makes it hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, so on the bottom here, that white, if it's blown, nothing you do with adjusting anything is gonna help. And even if I take its exposure down, yeah, it starts to turn gray. The only thing you might try is if that wasn't blown out, I agree with Chris, then it'll be fine. You could probably just take that out and replace it with the concrete that's here. In which case you get the lion just laying, you get everything you wanted without the blown part of the grass.
You could clone it with good grass, right?
Clone it with good grass. Why don't I just reseed it?
Yeah,
Use
yeah.
the reseed filter. I mean, this is you see. I mean, no, you clone it with good grass.
That takes too long.
Yeah, I
I've
mean,
heard
cloning
lions
it
don't do
with
well on
good grass,
AstroTurf.
which was the suggestion. Actually, people used to do stuff like that from another picture. You have another picture with grass, you take it from that, put it in this. Yes, all of those things used to be done, and that's fine. It would be a lot of work. So if you were really committed, no, I'm not making fun of that. The answer is yes, you could actually do that. But I'm looking and listening to your points about liking the whole animal, the character of the animal, laying out there too. I'm not sure getting rid of that grass would make any difference.
No, because you're going to look at his face, number
Yeah,
one.
well, you're going to look at the whole
Yeah.
animal there.
Yeah.
There was, Amy, you had a question there.
With there being areas that are blown out, there's a lot of contrast. What about converting it to like a high key black and white?
No,
What- Black
you
and
could
white?
do it to see, but I wouldn't.
Yeah, I love the background.
The owner says no. And that is, in the end, these are.
No,
all
you could
your-
try it,
No,
but-
these
but-
are all your picture, your guys. So you're right. In the end, it's, let me,
Nancy hit it right.
but
I got one right?
Huh?
You got a lot right, but I agree with you.
Yeah, but no, I think again, this is one of those that if you want to leave the grass there, fine. I think the blown out thing of the grass is what makes it a problem. So it's your decision what to do from there. But taking that out and replacing it with the concrete would still give you the image you're looking for, and that would be fairly easy.
Try cropping it halfway from the bottom and the front corner.
Then his paws are kind of up close. See, he's centered. I think he's perfect where he is. Yes, you're trying to do that, and then you're up too close on him as well. So I think that he's perfect there. And I would just try, making a little circle around this, having this all set with concrete, and then you'd have him just looking. In fact, you wouldn't even have your eyes drawn to grass down there. It would be all the
What about a
the-
vignette? Would that-
But a vignette wouldn't, you could do that, but your problem is down here rather than the corners. And also vignette would darken, but in this case, if it's blown out, then it would just kind of make it grayish.
When you learn how to do, do you do Photoshop?
I've learned Photoshop 4 times, and now I couldn't even turn it on because I forget.
No, I know that, but what our point we're making here is,
Well, yes, I've learned
the
Photoshop,
the
but
AI
for all the
part,
good
you-
it's done me, it's like,
Yeah.
forget it.
If, with the
Well-
AI, sometime if they're doing, bring this one in, you could do the AI on this, it would get rid of that in 1 second and it'd bring down probably the rest of that concrete on that, and you wouldn't have any problem
And
on that.
I understand-
It's unbelievable.
what you're saying about Photoshop. Let me put my little plug in here too. I understand what you're saying, and you're right. Photoshop is intimidating, it's big, it's all of those kind of things. You are correct. What I'm saying is in the interim, since you've gone back to it, some of the things they have, that's the reason I showed you in the beginning that picture of mine with the woman there in the car. That's drawing a circle and pushing a button. That's it, period. So if you do nothing else and that really helps a lot. So you don't have to learn Photoshop or use it, just draw the circle. Because on this, it would be drawing a circle around this, pressing a button, end of story.
It's done.
So that's,
Do a close-up portrait of just the face as it is right now, that one quarter, one quadrant,
we were starting to, and
that's a great face.
but let me just move this over. But I agree, Jim, in the end, this is your picture, your vision and everything too. So this has got to be,
Wow. Jeez, look at that.
He's a great lion.
Oh, he's beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they got to get him a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Well, send that portrait in, I'm sure he might get one.
Yeah. So there's a lot you could,
There was a female there this weekend.
put a little texture there.
Was? Good.
So this is, yeah, it's a beautiful picture.
Oh
But
my
again,
God,
it
that
comes
is-
down to what your vision
Peter?
is.
The girl?
No.
Oh,
That,
I'm just kidding.
this
It,
is,
it
this
comes
is
down to really
beautiful.
what your vision is.
That lion photograph is beautiful.
Okay. You want to get through the others here?
Yeah,
Let's.
yeah. Did you guys bring your cots with you tonight?
Yep. Yeah. If we go a little bit later, it's because I want to get everyone. We have a few more people. This is Joe Miko. Joe's not here.
I really like, it's so bright, I'm wondering if maybe it isn't too saturated. I'm not sure if we've got flowers that are that bright or not.
Really?
Yeah, it seems to me, it feels a little bit too saturated, but I'm.
On the
certainly
side
gonna-
monitors?
Yeah, it's pretty bright on the side monitors.
Okay.
The flower that's competing is competing in the bottom right, and not to take more of our time, I think we're gonna be here till midnight if we keep playing with these things, but, what did you just do to it?
Oh, you told me to take the saturation down a little.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
That actually helped that bottom right flower too, when you did that. I like that better. I'd probably crop down from the top a little bit and leave it at that. Maybe so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that looks better.
yeah. Done.
Okay. Ooh.
Wow.
Okay, who wants to take this one?
Well, no, it's
Okay.
mine.
Is it your photo?
No, I meant, it's mine, I'll take it. It's very beautiful. The contrast might be just up a little bit too much, but I really like the detail in the birds, the wings, the feathers are just amazing, and its eye. Even that fish, look at the translucent part of the tail on that fish is just perfect. It's dead center, the bird's dead center. I might come in a little bit on the right-hand side and maybe up a little bit from the bottom, but not as much to take out that great reflection in there. Maybe just come up a little bit, kind of like that. So then you've got the bird's head in 1/3 of it, and then the back of the bird and the right-hand third of it. I think that looks pretty good. You got some beautiful reflections. The waves are gorgeous. Did you take down the saturation a smidgen, or no?
No, yeah, the
Okay.
saturation, sure.
Well, it looks really saturated on the screen, but not, no, that's too much.
Let's see
Put a
that.
little bit back.
Yeah, it shouldn't be so blue.
Well, let me just come down on that. Well, I'm not a bird expert, but a little too blue, you think,
It is too blue.
on that? Okay. How's that?
That's probably about right.
That's a great capture, though, to be able to capture it when it's got the fish in its mouth and the
Yeah.
fish is even laying there like that, but that tail on that fish is really great. It's
I
good.
love the green water.
Yeah.
The reflection.
Yep, it's beautiful.
Yep.
Nice job.
So, yeah, that and great. Okay, we're doing fine. We have 4 more people only, so we're going to get there. This is Lance Mayer. Lance here? No?
Good action, kind of a people type of shot, human interest, kind of a lake version of street photography. I don't like all the dead on the left. I'm not sure how that's gonna look when we crop that, bring that in, but I would bring the left in pretty far. In fact, keep bringing it until he's in the left third. Keep
Right,
going.
but he's throwing his lure out
Yeah.
to the left, so. you
Yeah.
gotta get- Okay, where do you want it?
Right, until he's in the left third. Keep going a little bit more, right,
You bring the
right,
sky in with it.
yeah.
There's too much sky.
That's too far. Go a little bit back. Yeah, right about there. And like you said, bring the sky down. Yeah, keep going. That's good. Yeah, that's the way I would keep it, I think.
Dehaze it a little bit maybe, no?
Dehaze it a little? Okay. Yeah, that kinda-
I think so too.
Yeah. Yeah, you could come up and lose that, the rock in the bottom.
And you could always, I just lighten the shadows a little, so he's up, so we dehaze the,
They get a square crop and get rid of the rock in the bottom and grade it right.
make it a square crop and get rid of the rock on the bottom.
Not the crane.
No?
Okay, half the people say get rid of the crane, the other half don't. But-
Bring it up and get rid of the rock. I want
Okay,
it
we'll
to be a
get rid of the
rectangle.
rock.
Leave the crane.
Okay, and we'll
Leave
leave
the
the, okay, here's the, this is non-destructive, so we could all be. Okay,
No.
No, but he wanted to see what it looked like. It's okay.
We're getting
there.
testy now.
You saw it quickly?
It's getting late. People are getting testy.
Okay, this,
But the crane's aligned with the fishing pole.
yeah, the crane is actually a good point, aligned with the fishing pole. This is an awkward one, it's hard, because maybe it's just me, but he's throwing his lure, I almost want to see more on the left because he's throwing his lure out there.
This is Lake Erie, not some lake in.
You're right. Interesting. Okay, so we go from there. Yeah, just simple cropping, little dehaze.
What's that black thing by that dot?
I don't know. It's a bird up there. It might be, I think it is a bird. I see
Oh, okay.
wings.
All right.
And you're right, and I would just crop those or just the spot healing brush. Because even though those are birds,
Okay.
yeah. You can't tell, obviously, they're birds. They're just like a black dot, so you could get that out. Good.
Wrong problem.
Yeah, I think that makes a difference. Okay. Oh, that's... Wait, let me make sure I have this correctly. Library. Thank you, Mike, you're right. Okay, I see our crop artists are working over
Yeah,
there.
my-
I see
yeah, my
Nancy's-
crop
That's
hands.
right, got her crop hand up.
Yeah,
I might as well go to crop, get ready.
So there's a reflection of the sun in the water, you don't even see the sun.
yeah.
Yeah, the sun's just behind that tree.
You know, I might try cropping this as a vertical. I know you want to see the sun in there, but, you know, you've got the two trees over on the on the left, and then you've got the nice little 3-column of trees on the right, and you can see the palm tree behind. I heard a comment back there, you can see Spanish moss on that one tree that's.
But which way, as a vertical, but...
Okay, vertical, so that he's still in it, but crop the two trees out. that
Okay,
are-
I'm coming from the left over,
Yeah,
tell me when.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Oh, okay, no, back up, so that you can see some of the fronds on that tree, that palm tree, look, maybe there, but then you're gonna have some of that other tree in there too.
Yeah, but you could always, yeah.
well, go
Yeah, you're
back.
right, that's hard.
Go back. I just thought, because then you put him or the person in the right third of the photograph. Before, he was kind of sticking way out to he was almost, and he's almost like the subject of the photograph.
The sun's more of a subject than him, I think.
But actually on this, Nancy, you're right, you could take this. Nancy's point was we cropped, we wanted to see these fronds over here. You could just take these out easily
Yeah,
as well, so you're not limited. You said the sun was the,
I think
yeah,
the
he
sun's
thought
a
the sun
better-
was a better,
He's a better focal point than him.
but then, you mean taking heat crop from the right?
I don't know if I'd crop it at all, but,
Okay,
if anything, I'd crop the guy out on the bench. It's a nature photograph, so you don't need people in it.
but then you've got the, what is that? Yeah, are those benches? You got other
Yeah.
benches in there too.
Yeah.
this is a rough one.
And that might have been a person that they know that was sitting there and they thought, oh, yay, great, good silhouette or something. And
That could be true.
because you've got the sun on this side and you got the guy on this side. So you've got kind of competing interests, yeah.
Try dehazing that a little bit.
Try dehazing it a little, okay.
I just like the 3 trees and then him. Yeah,
Try the vibrance and stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Vibrance is very,
This is kind of
Vibrance
getting
or-
lost in the haze of
You
the
mean-
sun on that side.
yeah, clarity and vibrance both. That helps.
There's a little clarity.
Do vibrance.
Well, look what the light did, when you did that, look what the light did to those trees that are closer to him, and the light,
There
the
you
sunlight
go.
and the trees, really pretty.
So we go from that to that. Oh, so this is a difficult one.
But we're making it better.
Yeah, I mean,
We lit up the grass even.
what do you want to do with the grass?
We lit it up, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, this is,
It looks a lot better on this monitor than.
I'm not sure what I'd, yep. Anyone else have any? Let me
Yeah.
Bring the highlights up. Okay.
Turn the highlights down and shadows.
I just brightened the shadows a little, I
turn the
just
highlights
did
way
that.
down.
And the highlights, see if I can. Yeah, this is just a rough one overall, the way that sun's coming in. So we go from,
That looks much better.
okay, yeah, we brought out some of the stuff. You probably have to work on this a lot, but this is a difficult one. Okay, we have 3 more to go. Okay, this is Mick. I didn't say, oh, Mick's not here tonight. Okay.
Bar exposure on it, huh?
Yeah, so photography is a subtractive art, and he's done that here to limit. I'm sure there's great waterfalls beyond that, but he's focused in on just this little whirlpool effect going on. You know, I'm trying to keep our night from going any longer than it needs to. There's a lot of tweaking we could do. Some bright rocks we could pull the highlights down on. Not crazy about the branches that are on the left-hand side, but we can't do much with those without going into AI because we're going to remove some of the foam from the whirlpool.
Yeah, I think some of that is just blown out. Here's a trick, though. There's graffiti on this rock, red, and it kind of detracts a little, unless that's what he wanted. And that's a hard thing to get rid of. One trick I found is that graffiti is red. There's no other red in this picture. If I just take the red saturation and bring it all the way down, and maybe the orange saturation all the way down, and you could even do that with a brush. The thing is, it only affects that, and now the graffiti is there, but you can't see it anymore because it's not colored. And there are more exact ways to do that. So that was from there to something like that. So those are. And the highlight, I think this part here is blown out, which makes it hard. We can see that on the histogram. That too. Okay, Chris, any other suggestions?
Nope, I'm good with
No?
that.
Okay, oh,
This is a very unusual way to shoot this. This is really very cool. You've got
Yeah.
some nice leading lines that are going, or your geometric lines going at a diagonal this way. It just kind of frames the tower, terminal tower. And it's all, the tonal range is like all in the same, but then they've got the plain blue sky, which helps frame the whole shot. There's so much detail on that building off to the right, along the top edge. And the building in the foreground is very plain. Then you've got the one on the left, which is a little bit more detail, and then you've got the terminal tower. And this really works. It's a very nice shot. Really like it. Exposure looks good. It's very interesting.
What about cropping this vertical?
yeah, I saw several crop hands
Okay,
go up
okay.
in the audience
Well,
here
there are
too.
crop
I was
hands
going to
going
say,
up?
is,
Okay.
yes, there were
Yeah.
crop hands in the audience. The thing is, this little thing sticking off the side, what I was
Oh,
thinking,
okay.
how about if you on this, because this would be perfect, if we just bring it a little
Oh,
here
yeah, you're right.
and bring it in, kind of make
Oh,
that
that
in the,
makes it even better.
so we make this a geometric thing.
Oh, that looks really good. Excellent.
And then you take those distracting things, and they're, right, this is beautiful.
It's perfect. Looks
Yeah,
good.
this is a really interesting way of looking at this building. I really have to commend Mick for this, because what we talk about a lot is photographing iconic things. You've seen 10,000 pictures of the Terminal Tower. So when you go, you could take the perfect one, but everyone's seen it before. So the trick is how to do it so that like it's a way no one's seen it. And this view of the Terminal Tower with these beautiful just diagonals going both ways, I've just not seen this before. And it really just, looks really, really nice. So I think that's a,
In that they're all like tan colored or rusty
Yeah,
colored too.
exactly.
It all works.
this is good. Any suggestions over there? Yeah. I saw, any others?
Dust on the sensor,
The what?
dust on the sensor.
Dust on the sensor. This giant thing here, It's big, but it could be that or you mean this one here where I'm doing that? Yes, it could be.
Mick shoots with an Olympus, and I suspect that that's dust on the back element of the lens,
Yeah.
would be my guess.
But you're right, it's a non-picture kind of thing, and that's easy to get rid of. You just do the old.
That's a nice prop.
Hang on. Yep.
Yeah,
So very nice. Okay.
beautiful.
Yeah, I would do that.
Mike. Mike's here. I'm gonna.
I wanted the other one. Do the left one.
All right, these were, I think all the pictures I submitted were from an Ohio cruise, so this is one of the locks that we went through. So I just tried to capture, some experiences from the trip.
Yeah, so the depth of field is really good, which you really definitely needed here. It's real sharp. The exposure is great. So we're all about cropping tonight. What I would change is the rail in the front, I think, holds us away from the picture. It's kind of a block. So I would crop that, from the bottom up, just get rid of that. Yeah, I think that's what all the way to do with it. I don't think we want to even attempt to crop out the light poles, because you couldn't do it without losing the sky, and the sky is beautiful.
And they were part of the locks too, so I wouldn't take them out.
Right, yeah. No, I like it just like that. Good.
Okay, if you're done, could I?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. The other thing on this, it's again, you know where I'm going with this. Two things. One, I crop a little on the left because this little buoy is over here. The other thing is these are all beautiful, but you have 4 light poles that go off the screen. See those?
Mm-hmm.
The others are all ending there. And so and the same thing with that pole, so my only suggestion was just took out the poles. And actually, I think you could, let me crop, just to, yeah, keeps the lock in the middle. But yeah, it was those straight poles that were there before, Mike. And what I just did is I just took the AI and took those out. But now they're not going off the screen, and every pole that's in here
AI yet?
is a full pole.
Yeah.
And the
okay,
locks
that
are in the
makes
middle,
sense.
It becomes.
and that other
addicting.
was, does that make, what was,
Oh, I'm talking to him about using about AI. I told him it was addicting.
oh, that, Mike, do you agree?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, because what I did is actually, I went and made another picture, but that's, yeah. Because you can see on the,
It's
again,
the
there's nothing,
latest version.
the locks are perfectly in the center
It's the
here.
latest version,
Whoops,
It's the latest.
let me go. Yeah, everything is perfect, and cropping to take care of that, it took out the railing nicely, but these just go off the screen, and there's no way you could take the picture differently. If you angle up, you're going to get distortion and miss part of the locks, but these are 1, 2, 3, 4 are easy just to take out.
Yep.
And then it's
I agree.
beautiful. So let me put that. Yeah.
Go back and do the first picture.
Back to the first one?
Yeah. Not that, no.
What,
The night
If you
picture.
want,
The
take
night
it,
picture there?
take it.
I wanted to get some
No, take it.
comments on
No,
that.
take it.
Okay.
Take it.
Yeah, I saw Nancy said take this. I saw the thumbnail of that, and I just love this picture. I love night shots. There's just the reflections in the river, the action of the diagonal action of the stacks, the clouds going out. I don't know that I would do much with it. I'm not sure what's going on with the sky on the right side. It looks kind of mottled. Is that just haze, Mike, or?
No, I think there was a lot of noise in this picture, and I did use denoise on this.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, that probably should be cleaned up a little bit.
Yeah, other than cleaning up the sky there, I really love it. I mean, you can't miss, you know, this is the blue hour, and what's great about the blue hour is when you've got incandescent yellow lights, the complementary colors just work so well. They just make
Yeah,
the picture.
that's what I liked about it. There was
Yeah.
just the orange and the yellow against the blue, so.
The fire, whatever, coming out of the smokestacks, you know, with the smoke is just amazing. That looks so good.
Would you, Mike, and I'm seeing, and I know it's just a perspective thing, I just rotated it a tiny bit to make the towers straight.
Is this on a tripod or what's the shutter speed?
No, that was on the deck,
Oh, okay.
handheld.
This was handheld?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Wow, that's, let me see, that was, let me go to,
Library.
yeah, I'm looking at the settings. Oh, I don't see any EXIF data.
Yeah, there may not be because,
Yeah.
like I said, went through denoise and I exported it
Yeah.
to a JPEG. So.
Okay.
Beautiful, Mike.
And actually, that rotation didn't help, Mike. I like your original. This is better. Very nice. Okay. And last, we have Valdis.
So this was taken early spring, gale force winds.
Whoa.
The bird's feathers
Early
are flying.
spring gale force winds?
Yeah, so everything that was light and loose was moving like crazy, including the bird's feathers, except for part of his wing and his eye and his beak.
Wow.
I love the background on the right-hand side behind him, looks really good, but I think maybe I'd crop out that, everything on the left-hand side, that big limb there, because I want to look at that rather than the bird. The bird is just amazing.
Yeah, I tried that, and it didn't look good
No.
because the bird is looking out
I
that
was just
way.
going to say, the birds, how far would you crop, Nancy?
Well,
You mean taking that limb out?
maybe not, because then it's
Yeah,
too
because
empty.
then I agree with Val, to
It's
see
too
the
empty.
birds looking.
Okay, maybe just.
Yeah, that was my
right about
first,
Maybe a
there.
little.
Yeah.
that was my first hunch to do, and
And it
once
was
I did
too
it, it was
much.
like, eh.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I think since there's that lower branch on that one is kind of white, maybe just going a little bit more, just on that right
See,
side.
the thing is, the bird now is in the thirds.
Yeah.
It's just,
Now he's kind of in the middle,
no, I mean, before we do anything.
yeah.
What do you want to do then, Nancy?
Just a little bit off the side then, on the left-hand side, just a little bit. I mean, you can't, just right, go a little bit more, right there, right there. Yay, nay, anybody? You
Yeah,
like
that's
it on the-
fine. Still gives them plenty of space to look
Right,
into.
and it gives it some interest to the left-hand side over there.
And actually, let me, I don't want to go too close, but just a tiny bit. Yeah, keeps him
Yeah.
off center a little, still enough room around him.
And then the
Yeah.
negative space around him looks good too, so.
Yeah. The
Oh.
wind effect is really
Yeah,
nice.
that's wonderful. It's like having a fan on some hair on
Yeah.
a beautiful model.
Where was this?
This is Rocky River Reservation.
I like the light blue that's on his wing, that's kind of right underneath the white that comes around. It just looks like little bricks on the back of his, on his wing. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, my wife said there's probably a juvenile bird. That's probably why he's colored the way he is, because, yeah, the larger blue jays seem to be much darker colored.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm,
I really like this.
I do too.
Let's do the other one. Let's do
The
the
other one?
squirrel. So I took the picture of the bird, and I turn around, and the squirrel's playing peekaboo with me. So we go around one side of the tree, look, he's over there, go around this side of the tree, and he looks like he's smiling.
He's laughing.
So I thought this was just a crazy picture.
That's
And
Yeah,
again,
this
the
is-
leaves are moving.
Yeah, it's great. I would do, it's just a humorous, just a comical animal shot. I would, I'm not sure how far to go, but I'd like to get rid of some of the stuff on the left, make it a, more of a portrait. Yeah, just pull it, I'm not sure where we can stop.
You
but-
probably have to pull some from the top then.
Yeah. See, right now, that's probably good where he is. His nose is right
Yeah.
in that third. Yeah, that's it. I think that's the shot.
Yeah.
And if we,
And maybe the bark's a little.
yeah, I was gonna say the
bleached
bark
out.
is, I'm gonna see if it's blown out or not. I'll do some highlights down.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, just so it's not as, oops,
Oh,
where'd my, make my brush a little smaller. Yeah, but taking the bark, what we're doing is just decreasing the highlights in the bark so it's not distracting from the squirrel. And then I'm just curious, the squirrel's mouth,
Oh, yeah, make it a little later.
if we could just, sometimes that doesn't. Actually,
comes
it
out a
makes
little
it.
red.
Yeah, it made it. Why? Oh, no, that's,
Now it's a vampire squirrel.
yeah, actually, that's an interesting,
That's funny.
interesting effect. That's the original without doing it. So it was a little red to begin with, and as we play with the shadows there too, yeah, that makes it. Although, let's see if I just, would it maybe just exposure? No, that's the mask, don't get it. Hard to work with there. That's, you see a little, and then you could also, you could come down if you were really obsessive and had more time and things too. You could take a brush with saturation and take the saturation down if you like. No, that doesn't work. You're down the rabbit hole. Let me delete that.
He ate the rabbit, right? Yeah.
That's right. Mask 2, let me get rid of that one as well. Yeah, but I think just changing the, right, on the bark, which is distracting. It's beautiful. I don't know
Yeah.
how you did, don't they always run the other side of the tree?
Well, you know, it was funny. He just seemed to want to play. And most of the time, yeah, squirrels just run away or they'll get angry and hiss or something. But this
Yeah.
one just wanted to play. And so I thought, well, I'll quickly take a picture of him.
Beautiful. So we go from there, the little crop off the left. Yep, and he's still staying in the thirds. We've gotten rid of some of that without. What do you think, Valdez?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good job.
Good. Good. Well, thank you all for being patient and staying. I know we only did 2 of the 3. This has been a popular night, and I wanted to get to everyone to really go through these, give you some help. A real deep appreciation to Chris and to Nancy as well. And we are doing any pictures, images, you know, that didn't get in here and whatnot. We're doing this again at the end of December. We do this every 3 months now. So just save them up and resubmit them for then. So I thank you all very much and good night.
Yeah. Who's the microphone?
Yeah, we have leased the facility, so it's nice, so we're able to put in video and everything. So we really just got it made here.
So every Friday normally.
That's right.